Hi y'all, good morning. It is sunrise on the Tennessee River. That sun is just about to peek up over the trees over there. So that means one thing, y'all. We gotta get after it. We gotta catch these fish fast before it gets so blazing hot. We can't stand it today. So I'm gonna put y'all on the chest here while we get baited up. I've already cut a couple pieces of skipjack. We've got skipjack and white bass today. Mostly white bass. We've got a grand total of 2 skipjack, people. So we're gonna have to make the most of them, and then we're gonna very quickly move on to white bass today. But it's summertime. White bass is an excellent bait in the summertime. I've caught a bunch of big fish using it, so we're gonna hopefully get on a bunch today. I'm gonna take a section of ledge, main channel ledge, and me and you, we're gonna drift it today. So here is our first bait going down, skipjack head. And I'll show you my rig there. I got the same rig on both rods. I should have went over that. I'm in a rush here to get going before that sun gets up and we lose our morning bite here, assuming we get on one. If you're seeing this video, good sign that we got on something. Spoiler alert, you wouldn't be seeing this if we didn't. So morning bite must have paid off for us today. But this next one here, same exact rig, which I'm going to show you in just a second, but we're going to have us a piece of skipjack here, just a body section. I'm going to take these pliers and trim them fins off one time, give them a little haircut. If you're new to my channel though, or ain't been here in a while, here is my suspend fishing rig, which is what we're going to be doing today as we drift. I've got an 8-ounce egg sinker down to a swivel. Got 80-pound monofilament down to a 10-aught size circle hook with the piece of bait on there, and then below that we've got a Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly. I'm going to lower this down to the bottom, and once that sinker hits, we're going to reel down to it and raise it up so that this bait and the fly are down there just 2 or 3 feet off bottom. We want it close to bottom, but not on bottom. Not an exact science. Now, we're drifting off here where I want to be, but I'm going to get us on this brake line over here on the edge of this ledge. And me and you, we're going to take off today. Get that bait back there in the cooler. Me and you, we're going to go for a little drift, see if we can run into some fish on this main channel ledge. What have I got right here? Lord Almighty, that's my breakfast, y'all. We got pieces of cookie down here. Lord, I'm gonna have ants all over this place. I just got rid of the ants at the house. Now we're gonna have more. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get us moved over here and get us turned around. I say we're going for a drift. It's not really a traditional drift because we don't have any current flow this morning and the wind isn't really blowing the correct direction. The wind's kind of blowing this way. We wanna go this way. So I'm gonna get us spun around. I'm in my pedal kayak. We'll use the pedals just to kind of propel us forward down this ledge. And we're gonna move about 0.3 to 0.5 miles an hour, just enough to cover some water, work this brake line down through here, and hopefully run into some fish that are making their way up and down river. So I'm gonna get over here and get set up on this ledge, and I'll show you the map card and show you kind of the path we're gonna follow on the contour map. And then we're gonna get to it. Probably gonna have to raise these baits up a little bit because once we get over here on this brake line, depth's gonna come up just a little bit. We're gonna start out today fishing around 50 feet deep, and then where we ultimately finish up will probably be 35, 40 feet deep. And so we're gonna have some fluctuations of depth today, up and down. Yeah, we're gonna be about 50 feet here where we're at, but hopefully you can see here on the map, these contour lines, these dark black lines are really tight together right here. That's over here beside us. There's a steep drop right here, and then it goes up to a shallow flat that's just a few feet deep over to the shoreline. So I want to be right here on the edge of this drop before the drop comes off real steep, and then there's a slighter decline on down over here toward the main river channel. I want to be on that brake line. That's where I want to be. Right there where them darkest contour lines stop, I want to work that edge, and I want to work it all the way down through here today. So that's going to be the plan, y'all. We're going to take 2 suspended baits and just run down through here, 0.3, 0.5, and hopefully run into some fish along the way. So I'm going to bring y'all with me today, raw and uncut, unedited. Y'all going to see everything from right now when we're dropping baits down to when we roll out of here today, and everything in between. Y'all might even see a sunrise over here in just a couple minutes when that sun officially gets up. I was up and out of bed before the chickens got up this morning. Man's got to fish early these days because it's so dang hot. When it's 90 plus degrees, that's a little too much for me. There's a temperature when fishing stops being fun, and Mother Nature is trying to make sure fishing ain't fun by about 10, 11 o'clock these days. So we go and get our fish caught early today, man. So I'm just going to move us along here using the pedals. I'm in my Old Town kayak today, so we're just running 2 rods, both of them mounted there in front of me. I got my graph on a new mount. My regular viewers, I don't know if that's the final location, but it's where it's at for now. I've been just kind of jimmy rigging it on and having it in the little transducer cubby area there in front of the pedals. And there ain't a good place to put that graph. Honestly, where I'm 100% content with it. The little cubby area there is fine. I don't know why I'm holding this camera. I just put y'all on the chest here so you can see when these rods go down. That little cubby area is fine when I'm anchor fishing. Because when I'm anchor fishing, I'm pretty much just using that graph to make sure I'm exactly where I want to be when I set up, when I drop anchor. But when I am actively moving like we're going to be doing today, I need to be able to see that map card. That way I can make sure I am where I need to be as we move along, and I need to be able to monitor my speed and depth as well, because obviously we don't want to move too fast, and then depth as it changes, we've got to raise and lower our bait. So I need to be able to see it. And it's hard to see it down in that little cubby there because of the way my rod butt's cut in on it. So I've moved it forward and up so that I can see over the rod or the reel handle there. But I don't know that I'm 100% going to stick with that location or not. Historically, I've always preferred my fish finders on every kayak I've ever had. I've wanted the graph to either be on the right side of the kayak or directly in front of me. When you got it on the left, and me being left-handed when I cast, which it sets low enough, I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I haven't, since I put that on that mount, I haven't been ultralight fishing in this kayak, so I haven't been making casts. So that'll be the real test, if that ends up being the final location or not. We'll see. I'll either move it or not. When I first got this kayak, and I've had this kayak now since about 3 years, I guess. I got it in summer of 21. At the time, I was using that's just a little Ray Marine 5-inch graph. At the time, I was using that graph on my other kayak too, so I would switch it back and forth, depending on which kayak I was going to use it on that particular day. And obviously, since then, I got my Garmin and the live scope and all that for the other kayak, so I wasn't using this at all anymore, and so really no reason for it to not be just permanently set up on this kayak, since it's only going to be used on this kayak. No sense in taking it on and off when I'm catfishing in this thing versus ultralight fishing or whatever. But nevertheless, that's been a project lately. I ran my wires. I've got wires from the graph that goes inside the hole here through a through hole that I cut into the battery there, and then the transducer hangs over the side here on a ram mount. And I've got it just under the surface there so that we get the graph and we get accurate water temperature and all that, but yet it's not so far below the kayak that it's going to drag the shore when I'm coming onto land there, when I'm coming back to the launch and stuff. So that's how we've got it rigged up for now. Subject to change, as the old disclaimer goes. But yeah, y'all, me and you, we're going fishing today. We're going to try to reel us in a few before it gets hot. I'm going to tell you some stories. I've had some life events happen. Been back to the Asian spa. Me and the girlfriend, we got our toes done again the other night. I've got a lot of observations about that. We went to a different Asian spa, and I've got some observations about these Asian spas. Other thing, big thing going on. This is going to be maybe affecting me today, possibly when I get home. Daphne the dog has been an absolute terror lately. YouTube's favorite dog, his behavior has regressed horribly this past week. I don't know why, I don't know what's changed, but she's out of control. So I'm gonna tell you some stories about that. We're gonna apparently wave to a bass fisherman going 100 miles an hour this morning. Y'all wave. He's got some 1 to 2 pound bass to go catch. Go drive 80 miles an hour. He's excited to go get there. Can't blame him. Them fish are fun to catch. All 1 pound of them. I bet he might get him 3 or 4 today. Yeah, man, it's been just, we're on a little heat wave here in East Tennessee. I had went to Ohio last week and fished, and temperatures were comfortable up there. I get back home and it's a damn heat wave, so I had carp fish the other day, and then I spent a couple days trying to get bait, which is why our skipjack supply is so minimal today. We've got 2. I went out and I ain't been able to, the skipjack, they run up river in the spring, they spawn, they come back down, and they come back down river kind of methodically. Like, you can kind of follow them. They'll hang out in front of in the main channel in front of some major creeks for a couple weeks. Then they'll move on down to the next creek, and they do that incrementally all the way down to the lower end of the reservoir. But this year, I ain't been able to find that the places that I've gotten skipjack historically and the times that I've been there, I'm just not catching them. So I don't know if they moved there early and I ain't been able to catch up to them. I don't think they're late. The skipjack I got, though, I mean, they were super skinny. They were definitely late spawners there because they were spawned out, and they should be. I mean, that spawning should be long gone on these fish by now, but they just never showed up when and where they normally do, at least not in good numbers anyway. So I don't know what's up this year, but I've had a hard time lately getting skipjack. So we've got 2 today. Thankfully, the white bass bite has been pretty easy. We can supplement with those, and I do well on white bass, so it's not a huge drop in quality of bait to go from skipjack to white bass, in my opinion. Not this time of year anyway. Summertime it's just a really good time to be using white bass, in my opinion. I've caught some really good fish on it. But we got plenty of bait today. We're gonna just fish till, I don't know, probably 10 o'clock this morning, 10:30. By that point in time, it'll be a sauna out here. I'll go home and see what Daphne has destroyed in the house, and call it a day, man. This time of year, this is what I do. I get out first thing, try to be on the water around first light, which these summer months, it gets light pretty early these days. It's one of them things, man. It just, every day it seems like it gets light a little earlier, but oh. We're about to get fish number 1 here. Is he got, I think he's got it. He's got it, buddy. Oh goodness, get that rod out the rod holder. Here we go. Fish number 1, y'all. Reel you one in one time. Got the skunk out, took a minute. 14 of them to be exact. Come up here, fish. He ain't gonna be very big, but the first one don't have to be. What are we looking at here, fish? Blue? Blue cat. Oh, and he threw the bait off. Boy, when you're short on a bait, it never fails. They're going to throw off every piece. We may be going to the white bass super early today. Fish, you could have let me just get one more fish on it. One of your friends might have enjoyed that bait too. Let me get the pliers on you. These people are missing the sunrise over here, fish. Let me hold you up this way so we can see both the fish and the sunrise. Lord Almighty, he's gonna get him a workers' comp claim. Y'all got water all over the lens right before that sun pops up. Y'all look at that sunrise as that fish goes into concussion protocol. He did a Nancy Kerrigan 3 backflip twirl and come down right on his head. Goodness gracious. I don't know if Nancy Kerrigan's doing any kind of backflip twirl after Tanya Harding took her out back in the day. Let's get this other skipjack right here. We'll cut it and get that middle section of it. Danged old fish throwing off the bait like that. I don't know why they got to be so rude. They didn't learn that kind of behavior from me, that's for sure. I'm about to drift into this buoy over here too. The current is just non-existent today. They're not running any water at the dam. And so we're just at the mercy of the wind when I stop pedaling, and it's kind of blowing just almost upstream at an angle. Across the current, upstream kind of. So it's not blowing in a direction where we can use it to, gosh dang it. Hold on y'all, hold on. Let me get us over here away from this dang buoy. There we go. Okay. That fish caused us all kinds of problems, didn't it? We're missing a beautiful sunrise over here. Here, let's look this way. Y'all look this way while I'm gonna drop here's our next bait going down. Some of y'all sleep in so dang late. That's probably the first sunrise you've seen in ages. I think it's good for the soul to be on the water when the sun comes up. I think it cleanses your spirit a little bit. That's my thoughts on it. Okay. Well, all right, man. Fish number 1. Not a monster by any stretch, but you know what? It's the first one. And you can't catch 20 of them if you don't catch the first one. So I'm gonna put y'all back in the chest here, get you set right. I'm gonna turn us into that sun just a little bit, try to get us back on that break line to this ledge. And we're gonna continue along, man. We're just covering water today. That's what I like doing in the summer months. I'd prefer, obviously, to have some current, but this time of year, the Tennessee River here is controlled by hydroelectric dams, TVA. They operate these dams, and so they dictate the amount of current flow that goes through here. And in the summer months, we don't get as much rain here in East Tennessee as you do in, say, the winter, early spring months. So without the rainfall, there's not really a reason to move a ton of water down through the dams. So they basically just move water in order to generate electricity. And so they usually will cut them generators on usually around 10 a.m., 10 to noon is usually when they turn them on, and they'll run them till around midnight at night, because that's typically the highest energy demand times. Middle of the night, early morning hours, sun's not out, temperatures drop a little bit. People aren't running their air conditioners much. People are sleeping. They're not using electricity as much. So energy demands drop, and therefore the need for generation at the dams stops. So when I get on the water in these hot summer months, first thing in the morning, there's usually not any flow. And so I just have to, if I'm gonna cover water like we're doing today, I just gotta get out here and manually do it. Easy to do here with the pedals, but still you gotta go to the fish, because the current is not going to be able to move your scent to the fish for them to come find it. So you gotta basically go find the fish. Now we could anchor, we could set up, pick a place, a point, a hump, get more in front of one of these creeks or something and wait on fish. We could do that just like we do fall, spring, winter. But in my opinion and just my experience, I think in the summer months, just getting out and actively moving and looking for fish, covering water, it seems to be more effective for both not only numbers of fish, but size of fish also. So I don't know why that is, but it is. I just don't do as good on the anchor bite in the middle of summer as I do spring, fall, winter. So that's ultimately why we're doing what we're doing. As far as where I'm at, I just picked an area close to the house because it's gonna be so dang hot today. I didn't want to make a long drive. Plus I got all these problems with Daphne, so I don't want to be gone too terribly long today for her to destroy more stuff at that dang dog, man. She's something else. I thought I thought we were past the worst of it with her behavioral problems. Like we had a maybe 2-month stretch where like she was actually pretty good, like well behaved. Like I thought we had turned the corner. And in the past week or so, she has just badly regressed. I don't know what's caused it. I don't know what's going on. She's got it made. I mean, she gets treats, she gets to go places. She's a very high energy dog, but I mean, I run her on the electric bikes all the time. I'll take her to the parks. We'll go to the walking trails. Now, granted, we haven't done as much of that lately because it's been so dang hot. But I do something with her every day to try to get that energy out of her. But my efforts, it's not been enough lately, apparently. But I don't know. Last night was a bad night. Well, this whole week, really. So me and the girlfriend, we went to the Asian spa the other night and get her toes done, which again, I'm gonna tell you some stories about that. But I had already that day, I had taken Daphne, I went on my bait run, and so I got back early that day and it wasn't super hot yet. So I had taken Daphne over to the park. We did the walking trail. So she had been out that morning and then middle of the day, obviously super hot, but before me and the girlfriend went to get her toes done, fish hit me. Something hit me over there, I think. I'm imagining, I guess. But anyway, before we left, I got Daphne outside and we ran on the electric bike a little bit, just before we were going to be gone for an hour, just so, Daphne would be just kind of hopefully played out for a little while. Man, we get back And I should have known, because Daphne, when we left, she had that look in her face. And some people say this, like dogs don't do this, but I'm telling you they do, because I've seen it with Daphne time and time again. Like I can tell by the look on her face when she's gonna act out, because she has this like, this go to hell look on her face. Like she's so spiteful. That's why she does everything, I think. It's just out of spite. But I could see the look on her face when we left, and I thought, in the back of my mind, I thought, no, she's not. Well, by damn we get back, my girlfriend had left her like overnight bag. She had left it in the floor there in the kitchen. Daphne had been in that bag, chewed up a book, chewed up a shirt, and strung stuff out there. And it's like she knows better. She knows not to get in that stuff, but she done it anyway. And then last night, well, yesterday afternoon, I should say, it was probably about 3 o'clock-ish maybe, 3:30. I let her out to go pee. Well, I'd left my damn fence gate open. Now granted, you can't see that the gate's open from my house because my property's, I got 4 acres. But I'd left it open because I was going to be getting back out later. And it was hot in the middle of the day, you know, so I didn't think Daphne was going to be running off in the middle of the day. Well, I let her out to pee, and I don't know, 10 minutes goes by, she's not back at the door. I was like, oh no. So I go outside, look for her, she's gone. And so I texted my neighbor up the street, because that's most of the time that's where she goes, because he's got dogs and she likes him. And so she usually ends up there most of the time. So I texted him, be like, hey, Daphne's probably on her way up your house. And hour goes by, he still hasn't seen her. I've driven the bike all around the neighborhood. I can't find her. 2 hours goes by, 3 hours goes by. Finally, we get a call, because Daphne's got a collar with a tag on it. It's got phone number and address and all that. You know where this dog went? She left my house and kept going. She ended up almost 2 miles away from my house. Almost 2 miles away. And I'm like, dog, like, you know, most people's dogs, if they get out, my neighbor's dogs, I'll see them up on my property quite a bit. You know, they'll come up there, sniff around, pee and poop, and then they go home. Like they eventually just go back home. Daphne, she doesn't come back home. When she gets out, she just keeps going and going and going. And the last time that she went, well, it ain't the last time, because she got out the other day while I was mowing and went up to my neighbor up the street. But the time before that, she ended up over a mile away from my house. And I'm like, man, she gets out there in the dang highway. My road's fine, like there's nobody. We have people come up and down my road, obviously, that live there, but it's not like a super dangerous road. I don't have any great fear of her getting run over. People coming up down my road, because nobody's driving that fast up and down through there. But you get out on the highway or that other main road over there beside me, and boy, all bets are off. She steps out in front of a car doing 60, she's toast. And so I worry about that. But I'm like, I don't know how to break her of this. And it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years now of this. And she just seizes every opportunity she can to get out and has no desire to come back. Like, she must hate my guts the best I can figure. Like, she runs away from home all the time. Like, she's constantly trying to get away. I hope she doesn't kill me in my sleep. I hope this isn't like a Gypsy Rose Blanchard situation where I'm going to be murdered by my own child or something here. So I hope I'm a better parent to Daphne than Gypsy Rose's mother was to her, but that dog just hates me. She just hates me. She's fun. She's cute. I like her 25% of the time, but boy, that other 75%, she's just, her and I just never was compatible. In the 2 years that I've had her, me and her have just never really fully bonded, I don't think. Every time I think maybe we have, I realize we haven't. I'll tell you this though, she's broken me of getting any more young dogs. I'll never have a young one again. The next dog I get, assuming I even want another dog after the Daphne experience, I'll make sure it's 4 or 5 years old. I'll get me an old dog from the pound. Daphne, they thought, was somewhere between 6 and 8 months old when I got her. And so I've had her just over 2 years now. So look at it, figure she's probably somewhere between 2.5, 3 years old. She's still in that height, and she's not a puppy anymore. She's not like as energetic as she was last year and year before, but she's still very high energy and very, very spiteful. She's just, she's a handful, man. But nevertheless, that lady called me last night, and I went and, oh, here's the rest of the story too. Let me tell you how. So the lady calls me and I go get her. And of course, it's so embarrassing when I go get Daphne somewhere because she always runs and wants to hunker down. Like, she puts on an Academy Award performance. And everybody that I pick her up, every time I go to their house, these people, I bet every person around me thinks that I just beat this dog every day. Like, she's just an abused dog with her Academy Award winning performance. So anyway, I get her home and I'm pissed, man. I'm like, you know, I've scolded her really good. And so I get back home, I go ahead, I work out, you know, trying to work out my pissed offness. Get in the shower, get out. We got a fish on here looking right into the sun. I think he's got it. There's another one on that chunk. He's gonna spin us around here. He's gonna be another small, but I bet you he's thrown that bait off. I just feel it down in my gut that he's just like his other friend over there and has probably thrown it off to where we're not gonna be able to reuse. Yep, I knew it. I knew he was gonna do that. He's the same size as that other one too. You ain't even worth catching, fish. You barely fought. You ain't big as nothing. Come here. Nuh-uh. No. Get out of your system now. Okay. There you go, fish. I've busted a lip or something there. Or somebody else has one. You all wrapped up in that line, fish. Come out of that thing. He's still in my line. He's still in it. We're about to reel him in again. Look at this. There he went. I thought we was gonna reel in that fish twice. Well, boy, he's done. Look at this mess. He's done run laps around that thing. There we go. Okay. Get to a piece of skipjack. These skipjack are so small. I mean, you know what I think I'd rather do? Actually, this piece here, this one here is there was a little bit more meat on this one. We'll try this one out. This is probably gonna be the end of the skipjack though, and unless we're using tails. We'll try the white bass next. We'll do a chunk of it. I knew that skipjack wasn't gonna last because they were just really smaller, just spawned out, skinny skipjack. And it never fails, folks. I tell you, man, if you're short on a bait, every fish you catch is going to throw it off. If we had a surplus of bait, we'd be getting them back. Okay, let's drop it back down, and then we're going to get back on the move. Just going to let that sinker hit bottom, raise it up 2 or 3 feet. There we go. Okay, back on the move. I gotta get my sunglasses out too. Y'all get your shades. We're gonna be blinded here going into the sun. The sunrise was beautiful, but now that it's risen, it's just obnoxious while it tries to blind us there. So anyway, I get back home there from getting Daphne. I work out, shower. I'm gonna fix me something to eat. And so I went out to fire up the grill, and typically when I go out to the grill or fixing dinner or whatever, Daphne goes in and out of the house 37 times with me. But last night, you know, I'd already had my fill with her running off. I wasn't going to risk it again. I'm like, dog, no, you're not going out. You're in for the night. I'm like, I hope you peed and pooped while you were out on your walkabout, because you're not going back out. And so I'm going in and out there, obviously, working the grill and fixing dinner and stuff. And I can see it in Daphne's face. She's pissed that she's not getting to go in and out too. And so I finish up grilling the steak, and I come back in the house and get my drink, and Daphne at this point is in the other bedroom where her crate is at. I've got a spare bedroom, it's just empty, and I've got her crate put in there because we hadn't been using her crate recently. And I noticed Daphne has voluntarily went to that crate. And I thought, that's odd. And I go to sit down on the couch, kick my feet up, turn on the TV, and that's when I see it. She has pissed, big puddle, right in front of the TV. And I'm just livid because, again, this is spiteful behavior. We hadn't even been home that long. Like, she'd been on her walkabout. It wasn't like she was just, and when she goes out, when she ventures outside the yard, I mean, she's peeing on everything, marking her territory or whatever, right? So, like, she had peed. She wasn't in desperate need to go. What she did was just spite. And I'd already seen the look on her face, like I knew it was coming. I saw that look as I was going in and out, and I knew she was pissed, but I'm like, I should have known then. I should have known then to put her up, but nevertheless, she peed all over the floor, right in front of the TV, right there between the couch and the TV, right there where I'm going to see it or possibly walk in it. And she knew she had done wrong too, because she had already went and gotten her crate. So I just walked in there, I scolded her good, I closed that crate door, and that's where she stayed all night last night until the morning. I let her out before I come out here today, and I thought twice. I'm like, should I put her back in the crate? I felt a little bad, a little guilty. I'm like, she was in the crate all night. Do I want to put her in the crate all morning again? So I ended up leaving her out. So I'm hoping when I get home today, the house ain't wrecked. She's just having behavioral issues right now. If she doesn't get her way, then she's going to get her way. Like, that's just how she is. They say there's no bad dogs, only bad owners. I must be the worst dog owner in the history of the world. My last dog, Roscoe, like, he was so easy. Like, I just never had these kind of problems out of him. Like, he was just, I could just do, I mean, he was just perfect. We could go on a walking trail somewhere. I didn't even have to have him on a leash. He would stay near me. Daphne, if I was to let her off a leash at a park, I'd never get her back. She'd be gone, and that'd be the end of it. And you better believe that some of these times when I've been super pissed off at her, I wouldn't do that, but you better believe I've thought about it. Just take her for a walk off leash and and let her go find some other house to live at. But she's a handful, man. She knows how to set me off. I may have to have her. She may have to go on a little vacation for a little while just to give me a little break from her. Normally when her behavior's been really bad, my parents will watch her for a few days just to kind of give me a little respite, just to get a little break from her. But my dad recently had surgery, and so it's not a good time for a high energy dog to be at my parents, because if she causes him to fall right now after a surgery, that wouldn't be good. So I got to raise my own damn kid right now, and it's tough. What was I thinking getting her? I don't know. At least it's easier. The one good thing about her living with me the last couple years is when we get these electric bikes, it sure makes the filming part easy to do with that, because I can just race her around the yard. But boy, beyond that, she's a handful. I just thought, I was missing my other dog. He died a few years ago. And I was like, I want to get another dog. Little did I know I was getting a dog that was the exact opposite of him. Everything that I loved about my old dog, Daphne's the exact opposite. But anyway, that's Daphne. Hopefully she'll eventually outgrow this. I'm hoping too that we're going to find our way back into some fish here at some point. I want something better today. I know, look, we're in the spawn right now. Bigger fish are harder to come by. But I want something bigger than what we've got. This area through here, I've caught some good fish during the spawn, like in the middle of summer. I've done it before in years past. I've got videos on my channel here. I got a big flathead here. I think it was late June, early July. I can't remember. It was a few years ago. And in the middle of summer, we were in the spawn. I mean, it was a huge flathead. Normally, this stretch through here, you can usually count on getting some, not only a chance at good quality fish, but you can have a chance at getting some numbers of fish too. And so that's kind of what I would like to ideally do today, is get a combination of both, get a bunch of fish and luck into a big one or two. Don't always work out that way, but it's kind of what I was hoping for. I hate to make a long drive right now with it being so hot, just, needing to be off the water by about 10:30. It means if I'd make a drive somewhere, I got to get up 3:30, 4 o'clock to be able to get where I'm going and get on the water before sunrise. Fishing here, for instance, allowed me to, my alarm didn't even go off to 5 today. I still got out here before the sun come up, so just kind of convenient. It'd be more convenient if I could get us, boy, something big splashed right over there, man. Of course, it ain't gonna come back up now that we got the camera facing it. That was a big splash. I had to either be a carp or a paddlefish, maybe. Sometimes in the summer months out here, you'll hear all these big splashes going on around you right there first thing in the morning. And if you just happen to be looking the direction, right place, right time, and you see them come up, sometimes it'll be daggone paddlefish just jumping up. It's like they come up and completely breach the surface and crash down. And then paddlefish, I mean, some of them are pushing 100 pounds. I mean, they're big fish. They make a big splash. But they do that oftentimes in the summer months. They may do it other times of year too, I don't know, but I typically see them doing that more often in the summer months. And y'all, I apologize today if I'm sounding a little nasally. I am a little nasally. I think maybe I've got like a little summertime cold of some kind, probably because Daphne running off, I've had to interact with so many new people. Plus the Asian spa, I mean, God knows what I was breathing in there with all them chemicals from them people doing nails and stuff. I gotta tell you that story today too. We're gonna cover some stuff about the Asian spas. I made some observations in there. Finally got one of them hot chicks to do my feet. A girlfriend just loves going get them toenails done. And I will admit, even though I sound significantly less manly talking about this, I don't necessarily enjoy the process of them getting that ice pick thing and going down along my nail beds. And I definitely don't like the cheese grater thing that they rub on your corns. But it is nice getting into bed with smooth feet. Putting socks on with smooth feet. It is nice. And the girlfriend, all her friends are super jealous because apparently their boyfriends and husbands don't go to have spa days with them. So they're all super jealous that my girlfriend has me going with her. So I get to be the envy of all her friends. So hopefully, maybe a birthday or holiday sometime, maybe one of them friends can come home. That's what I tell her. Bring them home. No, that would never happen. But a boy can dream. But nevertheless, they are truly envious. But there's some strange things in there in the Asian spas. I still have no idea what they're saying. I can't understand a word. Even the little English they speak, I can't understand because they're talking so fast and the accent. I nod my head and smile. This one we went to the other day, it was different than the other one we went to last time. I told the girlfriend, I said, I'm having bad luck. This is the third time now that I'd done this thing where they cut your toenails and grind off your corns and stuff. We went to a place the first two times. This all started by my parents. I've told that story in another video. This started because I'd made fun of my parents for going to these type places and getting theirs done. And my mom, I think half jokingly, got me a gift certificate to one. And you know my cheap ass, if I got a gift certificate, I'm gonna use it. And so that's what got this started. But the first one we had went to, first time we went, I got this old woman. Like it was all hot girls in this place and one old one. And of course it was the old one that worked on my feet. And the second time I was like, okay, well, statistically speaking, like I've got to get one of the hot chicks next time. Well, the next time I'll be damned if I didn't get a man, which is very uncomfortable, by the way. And I thought overall he did kind of a lousy job because he didn't cut my toenails very short. And that's the whole reason of going to one of these places. For somebody like me, you know, I'm not getting no nail polish or nothing. I ain't getting no gel coat or whatever the hell these girls do. I'm just getting a little trim. He barely trimmed them, so I didn't like him. So I told my girlfriend, I'm like, let's try somewhere different, or maybe I'll have better odds of getting one of the hot chicks. So we tried a different place, and it was finally my time. They take us back and set us down, and this dude walks up, and he's putting the stuff in there in the foot bath, and I'm like, damn it, how is this happening again? But he ended up sitting down in front of my girlfriend, and around the corner walks this hot chick. And I'm like, yes, finally. The Asian spa universe has smiled upon me. So I had this hot chick work on my feet. But she cut my toenails down shorter, which I want them damn things down to the nubs, man. You paying that kind of money? I want them not have to go back for 6 or 8 weeks. But yeah, y'all, again, pull my man card. I've been to the Asian spa again. It makes my girlfriend's night though, buddy. It's like she's perfectly content with that being a date night. Women do that kind of thing all the time though. All the time. I mean, I see, and it must be like all women too, because these little nail places, in my town alone, we've probably got 4, 5, 6 different places. And all of them have been in business for a while. Like, it's not like they're just, part of me, before we went the first time, I had thought maybe these places are like money laundering operations. Like Walter White buying the car wash or there on Breaking Bad. They're just moving dirty money through, creating fake sales and stuff. I thought that maybe that's what these Asian spa places were, just money laundering operations. But having been in 2 different ones now and seeing just how many women are in there, because they don't just get their toenails done, they get their fingernails done. Now, I ain't doing no fingernail. I cut my own damn fingernails. But, I mean, these places are packed. Listen, folks, don't tell me. They tell us on the TV set all the time that the economy's bad. People are struggling to pay bills out there. But yet, all these women flocking into these nail salons, spending $35 minimum to have their nails done. It's $35 to have our feet done. It takes them an hour to cut them nails as they soak your feet. They use a file, they use a cheese grater, they use ice pick. This girl that done mine, like, she rubbed all the way up my calves and stuff. Like, it was something. I mean, with lotion and everything. I mean, it was a spectacle. They even gave me a Pepsi, which that got me wondering too. I was sitting there enjoying a can of Pepsi. I wonder if that's where I didn't get this summertime cold at. You know what I mean? Like, they had handled that, who knows how many people had handled that can of Pepsi before. I get cans of Pepsi too, but I get the carton. It goes from the carton to my refrigerator. That can, who knows how many people had handled it. And I didn't want to be rude and like take my shirt and like really clean it off right there in front of them. So I just opened it and drank it, and I wonder if I didn't get some kind of cold virus or something. Me to be all snotty and nasally right now. That's the only place, I mean, the other human interactions I've had recently have been with neighbors that's Daphne's run off to, but it's been outdoor contact with them. I ain't been right up in their grill or anything. So I think I must have got this cold virus at the Asian spa. I know there's some people out there saying, Justin, it's a wonder you didn't catch something else there, some other kind of virus. I'll tell you though, folks, if you ain't, you know, my parents go because they're at that age where it's hard for them to bend over to cut their toenails. I can still bend over and get mine just fine. But I can't use the cheese grater on my corns and whatnot. And so it's kind of nice. I'll admit it, it's kind of nice. It's kind of bougie, but it's kind of nice. Especially, yeah, I mean, where else? Like, you know, I had the attention of this hot Asian chick. You know, she's trimming my nails and rubbing on my legs and stuff. Like, where else in my life am I going to have the opportunity to have a hot Asian chick rub all over my legs like that? Like, it's just not going to happen. So it's a life experience in addition to a functional thing, getting my toenails cut. And here's the other thing. This girl's rubbing all over my feet and legs right in front of my girlfriend, and my girlfriend doesn't even care. Like, she's not jealous at all because this girl is providing a service to me. Can you imagine if it was anywhere else outside of that Asian spa and some other girl was rubbing me down? My girlfriend would be pissed. Not in spa day though. Perfectly acceptable. So it's all about that mentality, folks. But nevertheless, I'll admit I'm kind of enjoying it. Lost my man card. I've pulled my own man card. Here's something though. Two things. One, y'all remind me to tell you about tipping at the spa. We've got to talk about that. I got to get your all's take on this because I don't know what the proper protocol is in one of these places. But here's the other thing before we get to that. The whole time we're in there, they've got music playing. Because again, it's like a spa environment, I guess. I mean, you've got all these chairs, these vibrating, massaging chairs with these foot bath things on this side, and then the other side they do their fingernails. So you got all this going on in there, and they're playing music. And the other place we went to before, the first two times, they had a TV set up in there. And so you were watching TV while this was going on. This place did not have a TV set. It just had music playing. Would you believe the entire hour was Michael Jackson? You know, and I don't know. I mean, I know Michael Jackson was big all over the world, like he was world famous when he was alive. Was he that popular in China or Vietnam or wherever? I don't know where the particular people that ran this spa were from. That's not me being racist. I'm not racist or anything, but I don't know. I'm not cultured enough to know which part of Asia these people come from, and we can't communicate in there because I can't understand, even the little English they speak, I can't understand the accent. So there's no getting to know these people or anything. So I have no idea where the hell they're from, but apparently wherever they're from, they must like them some Michael Jackson because we listened to it for a solid hour that we were there. Michael Jackson greatest hits. And I just found that to be interesting. And nothing against Michael Jackson. I mean, as a human being, I don't know that Michael Jackson was necessarily the best person with some of those allegations that were made about him being a little too into kids, if you know what I mean. Don't know if that was ever proven to be true. It seemed all kind of, after he died, nobody talks about it anymore. But allegations were certainly made back in the day. So, you know, as a person, as a human being, I don't know that he's necessarily the maybe the best person, but music-wise, I mean, let's be real. If Billie Jean comes on the radio when you're driving down the road, if you're like most people, you're probably going to turn the volume up a couple clicks. Rock out to some Billie Jean or some Thriller or some Beat It, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, whether you like Michael Jackson as a person or not, he had a lot of hit songs back in the day. So, the Asian girls there at the spa was apparently into them some Michael Jackson. Otherwise, I mean, it wasn't on a radio station. Like it was just constant music. So I mean, they clearly had a Michael Jackson Greatest Hits tape back there somewhere, playing into the speaker. So somebody had purchased that. Obviously, somebody was into it. And again, no judgment from me. I mean, you know, I don't know that I have any. I don't think I have any Michael Jackson songs on my phone, like my iTunes thing. I don't think I have any Michael Jackson songs. And you know, and it's not that I don't like his music or anything. It's fine, but I don't like it so much that I'm gonna purchase it or have it on my phone. But again, if I'm listening to the radio and Billie Jean comes on or something, I mean, you turn it up a couple notches. But I'm curious, I'd be curious to know if over there in Asia and Japan and Vietnam and all those places, if Michael Jackson's a really big deal, as we get a little, oh, okay, oh, and he dropped it. That was on the head bait. He may be back for it, folks. He gave it a little nip. A little nip. Getting a little nipply out here. Nip, nip, nip. There's the crows over there. Y'all hear them crows? There's a whole flock of them over there. A whole murder. Ain't that what you call a flock of crows? A murder? I think that's what it's called. I'll have to ask my falconer friend, see if he knows anything about crows. But here's the other thing about the Asian spa experience, and I'm gonna get y'all's feedback on this too. So, we get done, we go up there to pay, and I'm standing there at the cash register, and my girlfriend walks over to look at some stuff hanging on their wall over there, like nail products or whatever the hell they sell at them places, in addition to the spa service. So she's over there looking at that while they're running my card. And they print off the slip there, the receipt, and here I am. I have this receipt. He hands me a pen. I've got to make a decision on how much I tip. And the girlfriend, she's got her back turned, and I can't be like, hey, hey, how much do I, I don't want to be like that. But at the same time too, it's like, what's the standard protocol? As I had went on a big thing in one of these videos recently, I can't remember when, but how I'm just over tipping. I'm tired of tipping everywhere. I would rather, at this point in time, factor the tip into the price and just make everybody pay it. I'm tired of tipping because it don't matter what you tip, it ain't never enough. And a lot of these places are asking for tips that I don't feel like, if I go in somewhere to get a to-go order and all you're doing, you're not waiting on me, you're not cleaning a table, you're not bringing me drinks, you're not bringing me bread, you're putting food in a bag and I'm walking out the door with it. You're not even bringing it to my car. I'm walking in, I pick up the food order, I go, why the hell should I tip in that situation? You know, you know, but anyway, this situation, we've been provided a service for an hour. I've got no problem tipping in this situation. But how much do you tip? And so I'm forced to make a decision. And so our bill was $70, it was $35 a piece. So $70. And so I was like, well, crap, you know, like what, $10 a person tips? I gave them $20 extra, $90. And of course, you know, my girlfriend, here she comes about the time I'm signing my name. She's done turned around now and come back. So we walk in, she's like, wow, you gave him a big tip. I'm like, did I? You know, I don't know. So we had she's like, well, normally I just give them like $5. And I was like, well, hell far, woman. Why didn't you tell me that? Why are you over there leaving me, hanging me out to dry as I'm signing this thing? And so I don't know how much you're supposed to tip in that situation. I don't know what the protocol is. I mean, $35, 10% of that is $3.50, so 20% would be $7, I guess. I don't know, but I just wish these places, it's 2024, everybody's sick of tipping. There's been so many social media video. Here we go. On the head. Come on, fishy. Be bigger than your friends. I don't think he's gonna be no bigger than his friends, folks. We're on some small fish right now. And not many of them. You can see where we've come, that green buoy up there is about where we started. We're covering a little water. Oh, he's left the head bait on. For now. Come here, fish. Come here. Go. That's what I knew he was going to do, that right there. I knew that was coming. Yeah, you actually left the bait on. That was kind of you. I am going to switch it out, though. I'm going to put that fresh head on. What you got going on here? There you go. Well, folks, fish number 3, not much to look at. Another dinkety doodah, but that's what, three fish in an hour here roughly. So I've had worse days. We just need to find some better quality. We get on some better quality, and if we can bust 3 fish an hour with some better ones mixed in, I think at some point down through here, though, we're going to get on a school of fish. Yeah, this one here, I'm going to just switch that out. You can see there, it's okay. If we were doing a day where I was fishing maybe like 4 rods, I'd have dropped that bait back down. Or if we didn't have any other bait, I'd drop it back down. But since we do, and since we're only running 2 rods, I want to have a good cut of bait down there. So we'll put that other head on, and we wear it out. We'll probably just go ahead and, is that same bass fisherman that went down a little while ago? Is that the same one? He didn't even hardly make any casts down there. Now he's running back upriver. We'll try the white bass out next. Adjust this bait here. All right, now let's get back on the move. Yeah, but anyway, when it comes to tipping, like the last couple years, and y'all have seen this, I mean, hell, y'all have, what was that? I guess it's okay. Thought there was something on the lens, maybe. Maybe it's just me looking through dirty sunglasses here. The last couple years, there has been a ton of videos coming out from these like delivery driver services, whether it be just your normal pizza delivery guy or your Uber Eats or your Grubhub, whatever, DoorDash. But these delivery drivers get super pissed off if you don't leave a certain amount of tip, and they're doing stuff oftentimes to people's food. They're eating the food, throwing it out, leaving it outside in the rain. I watched a video the other day. The guy was, I think it was a pizza delivery guy. He was lecturing the person through their like door camera, ring camera, security cam on only leaving a $5 tip. And he threw their pizza out into the rain there. It was raining, and he was like on their porch. He threw it out into the rain because they had only left a $5 tip. And I thought a $5 tip to deliver a single pizza, like that's a pretty good tip, I thought. But it's like, it's so out of control. The expectations versus the, I don't know. It's one of them things like we're going to have to get control of it. And I kind of think that maybe the way to avoid these problems is do away with tipping altogether. Factor it into the price of your meal or your service or the wages of these people working in the food service industry. Because I think it's unrealistic to expect to continue to tip some of the amounts that some of these people are expecting to get. I saw that video and the guy was pissed about $5 for a pizza delivery. I'm like, $5? That's more than he's gonna get out of me, buddy. Imagine what if I get a pizza, I just pick it up, but which I don't ever eat pizza anyway, hardly, but I was like, man, and it's another thing too, when I go get a haircut, obviously you got somebody providing a service. Now my hair, what little hair I have left, very easy to do. I can go in one of these haircut places. They buzz me down, I'm out of there in 5-10 minutes. Like it don't take them any time to do me. But I'm always curious, like, what am I supposed to tip in that situation? Now, the place I've been getting my hair cut at the last 2 or 3 years, Great Clips, they have raised the price like every few months. Now, a couple of haircuts ago, whoever the girl was that I got, she gave me a big discount. Like she gave me, she only charged me for a neck trim instead of a full haircut. So I tipped her a little more because she was saving me money, obviously. So I tipped her more and was perfectly okay with that. But my last haircut there, I got charged full price and it had went up. Now it's $19. And used to what I would do, I think when I first started going there, a haircut was $16. And so I would give them a $4 tip. Just make it an even 20. Keep the change. And then it went up to $17. And I still just $20. Then it went to $18. I'm like, well, shoot, it's only a $2 tip, but that's still over 10%. Now, if I give a 20, I'm only giving a $1 tip, which is kind of insulting, I feel like. But at the same time too, it's like, God Almighty, is it really? I mean, in the last 2 years, they've went from $16 to $19. That's a big jump, percentage-wise, for a haircut that essentially costs the same, one would think. I mean, I don't get it. It's just, it's gotten out of control. We're dragging the bottom here with this. We've come up a little shallower here. I think we need to work a little bit more to the left, or else we're going to be getting some snags that we don't want to be getting. Y'all let me get focused on this problems with tipping. I come up a little higher on that ledge and what a man need to be. But yeah, I got no problems tipping for service. But tipping just because the culture says we should, or just because there's a spot on the receipt for a gratuity. There's one place I go through here, a little Japanese place. You get to hibachi, rice and steak and some vegetables, and their fancy sauce they put on it. I go through a drive-through there. They, instead of just running your card for the amount, like they run your card and hand you a little clipboard. And sure enough, there's a spot on there for a tip. I'm like, no, I'm going through a damn drive-through window. Like, I'm not tipping you. I'm not tipping going through a drive-through. I'm just not. Like, you shouldn't have to tip in a damn drive-through, on a fast food drive-through. And that's what it is. I know it's technically a sit-down restaurant. But if I go through the drive-through, if I don't go through the inside there, if you're not waiting on me and giving me the little salad bowl, you go to them hibachi places, they give you a little, it's basically lettuce in a small ice cold bowl with some of that fancy sauce on it. That's what they give you. You know, if you're bringing me that salad bowl and you're bringing me a drink and you're cleaning the table when I'm done, I'll tip. But if I go through your damn drive-through, forget it. Like, no. But the little girl there at the Asian spa and the guy who done my girlfriend's toes, they got $10 a piece out of me, $20. I won't do that next time now that I know. Now that I know the girlfriend does $5, I feel better about but I didn't know. I just didn't know. And she hung me out to dry. She turned her back and was over looking at stuff on the wall. And I had to make a decision. I panicked. I put too much down. It was my girlfriend's fault. My toes, silky, smooth, y'all. I'd show you, but I got too many perverts in my audience. Y'all would be looking at my toes the wrong way. They've done miracles on them corns, though. I ain't even hardly got corns anymore. She did hurt me, though. I got on my middle toe on the left foot, you can't hardly see it, but I got a scratch. Daphne had stepped on my foot and scratched me. And so it was kind of tender, kind of burns a little bit. And that girl there, the little Asian girl, she had her tweezers and she was plucking the skin, you know, because the skin was abraded there a little bit. She was plucking the skin off of it. You know, and I wanted to say that hurts, but hell, she wouldn't have understood me even if I said it. You're pretty much just at their mercy. They sit down there and they're talking to each other in Vietnam or whatever, and I can't understand a thing they're saying, and so you're just at their mercy. They do what they do. But overall, fairly good experience. So if you're having trouble bending over, cutting your toenails, or if you're a man and you got a girlfriend or wife that goes and gets her toes done and you just want to make her day, have you a terrific lady day or something, you will make her dreams come true if you will go get your toes done with her. Women are super into it. I don't know that I've ever, I was thinking about that recently. I'm trying to think, like, ex-girlfriends I've had and stuff, like, did any of them cut their own toenails? Like, I don't know at what age girls start going to these places, but it's like a rite of passage, I guess. Going and getting their toes done. Like, I don't think any of them cut their own toenails. I bet some of them have been going to the spa so long, they don't even know how to cut their toenails anymore. They probably forgot. They go in there and they stare at the other women in there getting their toes done, and they all sit there and judge each other. This is what women do, fellas. If you all out there, your girlfriend, she goes to the beauty shop or the nail place, you wonder, like, what is it that they're doing? What do these women talk about in there? What do they do? Well, I've been to the other side, guys. I've crossed enemy lines. I've been there. I've seen what goes on. Here's what they do. They sit there and they look around. They're on their phones, but they're secretly looking at each other. And they're all judging each other. As we got another fish here. He hit it. He hit it and thought better of it. He wants to hit it again now. He don't know if he wants it or not, does he? Hell, I think he may have it. I think he's swimming under me, actually. He is. He's done swam. He's done swam under me. The old fish. At least he didn't get in that other line over there. Let's see, what do we got here? Another small, man. Another small. We're going to put on some white bass next because he's done knocked that bait off. That was our last decent sized chunk of skipjack. Come here. Fish, he's got that, look where he's got that hook. It's coming right out that bottom lip there. You get them hooked like that, buddy, you gotta be careful. You're liable to wear one of these hooks. There we go. Oh. Get on out of here then. Yeah, let's cut a white bass. We'll see what that'll do for us here. We'll cut that was the body chunk there that got eat, so we'll do a body chunk of the white bass now. We'll give that skipjack head a little time on that other rod before we put us a white bass head on it. I'll go ahead and get this head ready to go though before we put it back in the cooler. That way when that other rod does go down here in a little bit, we'll be already have it ready. White bass here in Tennessee where I'm fishing today, perfectly legal bait. I typically catch hell from my Texas audience when I use white bass. Apparently not legal there. But I don't fish in Texas, so I don't really care about Texas laws right now. But my Texas audience is always happy to tell me about their laws for some reason. I just say read your read your regulation book, wherever it says, follow it for whatever state you're in. I highly encourage people to follow the law. I certainly do. Legal bait here in Tennessee. Thankful it's legal too, especially when skipjack are tough to get. Okay, so here's our chunk of white bass going down. We keep moving up here on this ledge a little. We got to drift back off. We're up 38 feet here right now. We gotta go back to the left here. Put this back here. Okay. All right, we back in the game. What is that now? Four fish. None up, boy. Y'all got water on the lens again. Y'all need to wipe your own face off there. None of them had any size to them though. All been dinks so far. We'll keep moving though. We'll keep covering some water. We're liable to stumble into a big one though at some point out here. It gets tougher this time of year, but it ain't impossible to catch a big fish. Anytime you got baits in the water, there's always a chance. We're liable to run into a school of these fish too and just have both rods going down. That's liable to happen at some point too. But anyway, now that I've crossed enemy lines multiple times, I know what these women are doing and talking about when they're not around us, fellas. So they sit in there in these spa chairs, pretending to be looking on their phone, scrolling social media, but they're really looking at the other women at the spa, and they're all judging each other, like hardcore judging each other. Like they're looking at each other's clothes, their hair, their makeup. Purses, I've learned, are a big thing. Purses are like, that's one of the first things as a woman they're getting judged for. Like if you don't have a certain type of purse, you're less of a woman in other women's eyes. And if you have, like, let's say you have a Gucci purse or a Louis Vuitton, if it's not real, you are judged super hard. And these women know what's real and what ain't. So like my girlfriend, for instance, she'll be like, you see that purse over there? It's fake. And I'm like, well, how do you know? And she says, you see the stitching there around the logo? It's on the right. It should be on the left. The real one's the stitching's on the left. So I'm like, that purse that you're looking at, this woman has, it's a fake. And the real thing, what's the price difference? Well, one of them fake ones is about $20 at the flea market, and one of the real ones is about $500. And I'm like, so you're telling me a person can save $400, $450 and get the exact same purse. It's like it's exactly the same, except one of them sewed differently than the other one. But yeah, but it's not a real Gucci. It's not a real Louis Vuitton or whatever the fancy purses are. But like it's just the sewing thread is on the wrong side of the logo. Like that's the only difference. Like I'm like, it's a purse. It's serving a function. I guarantee you the fake Gucci purses will still carry makeup and tampons the same way a $500 Michael Kors or whoever the hell purse is. Like, they will all carry your credit cards, your lipstick, and your tampons. Like, why do you need a $500 purse? But that's what they do, guys. They sit there, they're looking at your shoes, they're looking at your purse, they're looking at your clothes, your makeup. Like, they sit there and they just judge each other for the entire hour that they're getting their nails worked on. It's like they obviously, they pick each other apart like that. And if you go, and I've got to ask the girlfriend this, like, let's say a woman goes in to get her nails done, and of the other women that's there at that time, let's say your girlfriend or wife has the best purse and the best shoes and the best Burberry blouse or something on. When she leaves, like, is her ego bigger? Like, does she walk out of there, like, head held a little higher? The other woman that's got the flea market purse, when she walks out of the spa, you think she's thinking, like, I wonder if they noticed the thread was on the right side of the logo instead of the left. Like, is she self-conscious? Is she worried about it? That somebody's going to realize that she got a $20 flea market purse or a $100 Gucci outlet scratch and dent or something? The mindset, like, I now know what women do at these places, what they're thinking about, what's going on, but I don't know, I haven't broken down their psyche to figure out how it makes them feel. Like, is there rankings? And here's the other thing. Is this just a white woman thing? Is this just a white woman American thing? Because these little Asian girls there at the spas, I'm curious if they're sitting there, because, I mean, they can say whatever, like, they can be open about it. Like, when the girlfriend, when she taps me on the shoulder, and she's like, psst, you see that purse over there? You got to be quiet about it, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be, you can't make it obvious. Like, she's got to be like, hey, Justin, hey, look over there. Don't be obvious about it, but look over to your left. You see that girl's purse. Like, you got to kind of keep it on the down low a little bit. You can't be obvious that you're talking about the other person that's sitting across from you over there. But these girls that are working in the spas, they're speaking a whole different language. They can be, they can holler at each other and speaking in their native tongue and be laughing at the other girls. Like, she's got $20 flea market purse, and they can be loud and talking about it. I hope there's and it may already exist. I should look this up. This would be fascinating. This kind of thing may already exist with the technology we have today. It would be interesting. Let's say I had an app on my phone, and I'm sitting at the Asian spa place, and this little girl's down there at my feet, and she's talking and carried on and laughing, and I'm smiling and nodding, just pretending she's talking dirty to me. I have no idea what she's saying. How awesome would it be, like, if you had an app on your phone that was translating everything she's saying in real time? And it was like speaking into, like, if you had your earphones in or something, and everything she was saying was getting translated and you were hearing it all. How awesome would that be? We would finally know what the hell it is they're saying. I've seen that a lot too, just going out and about, it would be nice. Like sometimes when I take Daphne over to the park and the walking trails, usually when we pass by other people, they're usually Mexican. Because we got the town I live in, it's mostly Mexicans now. And so if you go to a park or walking trail, like that's who you're gonna pass. And a lot of them, it's Tennessee, it's the polite thing to do to acknowledge people as you walk past them. So I'll say hi, and some of them say hola or whatever. And they'll be talking amongst themselves as you go by. And sometimes you wonder, like, are they talking about me? What are they saying? Oh, that person over there's laughing. What did they just say? Are they making fun of me? If we had some device that could translate in real time, we would know. We'd finally know what they're saying. I have to believe, I'm going to look that up. It probably already exists. I know they've got like, well, hell, on my YouTube comment box, when somebody leaves me a comment in another language, I can click on the comment and it'll say translate to English, and you can push that and it'll translate it for you, just boom, just like that. Now that's written text, obviously different than somebody speaking to you in real time, but yeah, there has to be, because them government shows. NATO, wherever all them governments get together from all over the world, when somebody's speaking, you hear the other people, or you see the other people. I don't watch like government news networks and stuff, but I've seen movies and whatnot where they're all these diplomats are sitting around and they'll have a phone to their ear while somebody speaks in their language, and I guess it translates through the phone or whatever. There has to be an app or a program that exists for that kind of thing. That's going to be super interesting if I can figure out what these girls are saying. Wouldn't it be something if they translated into what I wish they were saying? Probably not. I think those people hate us. I mean, they'll work on our toes and do a good job and all, but I would imagine they probably hate us. Probably some resentment there. And it could be, even though they're getting business in these places, it's possible that they are still money laundering operations. You know what I mean? Like, it could still be, even though they're getting a fair amount of business, it could still be just doing a lot of fake transactions and whatnot to funnel money in. We've all seen Breaking Bad at this point. We saw how it worked with the car wash that Walter White and Skyler bought. It's an underrated show. Little artsy. I thought the episodes ran kind of long sometimes, but the overall premise of the Breaking Bad show, excellent. That's another one of those TV shows that I have to believe has happened in real life. Like, it's a fictional show, but I mean, come on. High school chemistry teacher, diagnosed with cancer, wants to leave something for his family financially. So he starts making meth. Like, that kind of seems like that kind of thing's probably happened before. I mean, I mean, we're all technically terminal. From the day we're born, we start to die. Some people take longer than others, but I mean, essentially, we're all dying. Every one of us is going to die. So technically, we are dying. But if it's a situation where you've got a terminal illness and you know that you've got just a short amount of time left, I think I could be morally flexible. Like, you know, if there was something illegal, immoral, whatever that would, you know, high risk, high reward type situation, something you wouldn't necessarily do in real life. But if you got a chance to take the risk and maybe set your family up to be in a better place when you're gone, if it works out, I think maybe I'm probably not alone in this. I think a lot of people probably would. So I could see some high school chemistry teachers diagnosed with cancer, short time left to live, like, you know, I think they're gonna make some meth or something. I could see that totally happen. That's why I think the show was probably so good, is because it had such it was fictional, but it was realistic in the sense that it could totally happen. And we got to see how Walter White there, the main character, you got to see how his personality evolved and how he changed and how he evolved as he became that person and went through everything. We're coming up a little shallow here now. Raise our baits up here. We're 43 feet, and this is the part here where we're gonna start to come up a little bit, depth-wise. We're just gonna keep moving along. I ain't seen nothing yet that's gonna make me wanna slow down and set on fish or anything. We're just gonna keep making our way downriver here. Hopefully y'all are at a good angle to see here. I can't hardly see my screen because of my sunglasses. I saw another thing it was on social media, but it was from TV, kinda. And it was amazing. Most of social media these days it's garbage. Everything on there's garbage. But this was pretty amazing, I thought. They had taken the Golden Girls theme song, like that opening credits song from the Golden Girls TV show back in the day. Very popular show when I was a small child. They took that song from the opening credits and put it to the end of Predator. You know, the movie Predator from the 80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger. At the end, they're like showing off the characters and whatnot, like the end credits. They took the Golden Girls theme song and overlaid it with that, and it fit perfectly. I mean, it was like it was made for it somehow. I'm like, that's the best thing on the internet today. It's the little things, folks. It don't take much to amuse me. All other social media, that was garbage. I'll tell you this story, though. This was interesting. And I've touched on this quite a bit over the last few months because it's been such an issue for me. It's been so rampant of these people on social media who are stealing from me and from other content creators. They steal our videos and post them under these fake accounts with the hopes of either scamming you, the audience member, into giving them money, making some purchase that you think you're buying something from me, but it's really them. Or the other way they make money on these things is through ad revenue. They post the videos that they've stolen from content creators, and they earn ad revenue on that if they can get them to go get a bunch of views. And so this has been an ongoing problem for me. About every other day I find a new account that's stolen from me. And it's been a real pain with specifically Facebook. TikTok's bad also, but Facebook specifically has been the worst as far as just denying the claims. Like I provide my trademark documentation, all my social media, the original video that they've stolen, and yet half the claims still get denied on the first attempt. And so I had oftentimes thought, like, the people that's reviewing these claims, I don't even think they look at them. I honestly think they just flip a button. Some of them, they probably know. There's probably some percentage, right? Like 80% of copyright claims are legit. So they probably just go down through there, and about 7, 8 out of 10 they approve. Well, they just deny a few of them, just without even looking. And so I tested this theory the other day. I was like, if they're not looking at the ones, because again, I have provided ironclad proof that I own the content numerous times and just been flat out denied. I'm like, if they're not looking at it when I am providing documentation and everything for content that I own, like if they're not even looking at that, well, I wonder the claims that I submit that are approved, I wonder if they're not looking at those either. So here's what I done, y'all. I took a page, and again, this page, they had stolen about 50 videos from me. And they had been running for a month, so like they were posting multiple videos a day, and like they've got a whole operation going here. And I said, you know what I'm gonna do? They had made some Facebook Reels off of a video that I had done. So like the first 3 or 4 Reels that I linked on this copyright form, I had the original video, my original video tagged in the report for them to review on that. But I went ahead after like those 3 that I had the original video, I went in and I linked all of the other posts they had made on their entire page, which were different videos, not just from the video that I had linked, but they were from a variety of videos on my channel. But I went ahead and linked them all in the same copyright report. And I did this hoping that whoever reviewed me just wasn't going to pay attention and not notice that a lot of the videos there on their page were from a different video than what I had linked. And by damn, would you believe they didn't? They deleted every video. That claim got approved, and they deleted every single post on that. They didn't take the person's page down, which you would think if you just got hit with, if you just had 50 videos, 50 posts removed for copyright violations, that should get your page shut down, right? It didn't. Didn't shut down the page, but they took off every single post. And I thought, okay, here we go. Let's try it again. I ended up wiping out entire accounts on there. I'm like, this is the way to go from now on. I'm gonna just try to sneak them through I'm just gonna find one video that they've stolen from, tag all the other posts, and hope whoever clicking buttons over there at Facebook, when they get around to reviewing it, hoping that it slides through. Either way, it's still gonna save me time, because if an account's got 50 videos posted, instead of me having to do 35 different copyright claims, well, now I can just do one claim for the whole page. If it gets approved, great, it's gone. If it gets denied, I'll just do it again, tag everything. How many times am I going to get denied? 2 or 3 times probably before it goes through. So I'm still saving myself a ton of time by doing it that way. But yeah, I thought, I'm going to use those people over there at Facebook. I'm going to use their laziness to my advantage. And sure enough, just snuck that right in there. I don't know what is going to happen though with AI and all that as it gets better. When people can start, this is where it's going to get real interesting. I may have touched on this in another video, but y'all bear with me. Listen to it again here, because this is an evolving theory of mine as time goes on. But like right now, these people and organizations, and I have to think it's like a whole operation over there overseas, that they do this stuff where they steal your content, plaster it all over Facebook, TikTok, etc., and they're just trying to get that ad revenue. Like right now, if you find those pages and those accounts, you can file copyright claims, and it's a time waste, like it's a hassle. But you jump through the hoops and you can have it removed. There's going to come a time here in the near future where AI is so good that they're going to be able to take your voice and your image, and they're going to be able to create new videos from that, just with their computer stuff. It's going to be really difficult when that happens as a content creator, as far as getting stuff removed. Because think about this. It's hard right now to get copyright claims approved when you can provide the actual video that stuff has been stolen from. Like when you can provide the original copyrighted material, it's hard to get claims approved. But when AI starts taking your image and your voice and making new videos, how the hell are we going to get those claims approved? Because in that situation, the person who has stolen your image and your voice, technically their video, since it will be a video that they have made, technically that will be the original copyrighted video. So at that point, you're going to be having to try to prove that you own the rights to basically yourself, your voice, whatever. And if they're in a foreign country, here's what, and I ain't trying to tell them what to do, but seems like how they'd get around it. It seems like either one of two things. You would take, let's say they were trying to rip me off here, for instance. You would take my image, you would take my voice, and you would tweak something. You know what I mean? Like just enough to make it different than me. Like you would make it, if you were trying to prey on my fans or audience, whatever, to get their views, it would obviously be me in the videos, but they would tweak it just enough. Maybe the skin tone, maybe the voice, change the color of, change something just enough to make it to where I couldn't claim it. Or create and I'm surprised they haven't already done this, create a fake contract, sign my name to it. And then when Facebook or whoever goes to pull down the material from my copyright claim, the person on the other side of the planet would just dispute it and provide the contract, forged of course, that me or the other content creator would have allegedly signed, giving them permission to use either our content or our name, image, likeness type thing. Now, here's the caveat to that. When you file a dispute, a copyright claim on, doesn't matter where, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, doesn't matter. Part of the dispute, you have to put in your contact information in there. Now, I have a P.O. box. They're not getting my real address, and they don't get my real phone number, but nevertheless, you've got to provide that. The copyright claims in my situation have always been either approved or denied by the social media platform. Nobody has, on the other end, that's stolen the material. None of them have ever disputed it. But the process, if a claim is disputed, then a social media site gives you their contact information. And you are, at that point, given the option to pursue legal action against them, and they will tell you you have X number of days to pursue this, or the content that's been taken down from the copyright claim will be put back up. Now, if it's a person in America stealing your stuff and you get their contact information, well, good, you got them by the cojones, man. You can pursue something. Now, you'll end up paying more in legal fees than what you'll ever recuperate probably, but at least you've got the option. You've got the name, phone number, address. You got everything you need to pursue action. When you've got people in India and Pakistan and other countries have no idea even where they're at, when they're doing it, so what if you get their name and address? Like, you can't do anything. They're on the other side of the planet. Hell, it ain't cost effective to pursue it in the United States. But now you got to try to pursue it on the other side of the world with somebody that's probably given a fake name. So it's like, I can't believe, honestly, that more of these foreigners that's stealing stuff, I can't believe more of them don't dispute the claims as they come in. And then I'm surprised, one, I'm surprised that they don't, and two, I'm surprised that they don't have just a fake document of some kind. I mean, they could easily just forge my name on a contract of some kind. And that kind of thing would probably be enough for the social media company to reinstate the material. And how would I be able to dispute that? Obviously, it would be a fake contract, of course, but you can't sue somebody in India. Like it's just not. I don't know. I'm surprised stuff like that doesn't happen all the time. I guess for them, it's probably just easier to just create another account because they can post the videos quicker than I can file claims against them. And I do spend an extraordinary amount of time filling out copyright claims. Like it's a time-consuming process. Even with being like I've done recently, basically tagging every post they make into one claim, like it's still time-consuming to go through and do that. And it doesn't take them no time at all to pop those videos up. I think they've got computer programs to do it because here's another thing that's been happening. And I've tried to be on top of it lately, but when I post a new video on YouTube, instantly, I mean, as soon as it goes live, I'm getting spammed with comment. And it's weird. This has been going on for months. And I haven't been able to figure out the motivation, what they're gaining by this. So it's like spam bots. The picture, it's different accounts. The picture's all the same. It's like a woman in a thong. But they'll leave a comment just completely random. Like it's just a random saying. Like it's not a link. They're not asking you to come to their page. It'll just say something random like business creates wealth, or I mean just something completely stupid. But as soon as a video posts, like I'll get hit with numerous comments on all these different accounts. Same half-naked woman there in the profile picture with some random quote. And I guess they're just hoping that people will see the profile picture and click it. Because again, it's not like they're posting a link. They're not saying, hey, come check out this hot girls at whatever. Like they're not doing that. So I can't figure out the motivation for them to continue on, but by God, they hit me. Every video I post, I'm gonna get hit with 5 to 10 comments just like that. And so I have to think it's some kind of computer program that's just, because one person couldn't hit me with that many comments from that many different accounts. Like it's gotta be multiple, either multiple people sitting in some internet cafe, like, oh, new videos posted, swarm. Or it's gotta be some computer program doing it and just being able to hit you with all them comments. But I mean, that ain't just me. Like that happens with a lot of YouTubers. They're just, as soon as the video posts, I guess they're probably on a, you know, they've probably got some, it's probably some computer program, truth be told, that's just there on YouTube, and every time new videos post, like it just automatically just pounds them with those spam comments. I wish YouTube could do something about it, because it wrecks your watch time in the first hour, like your average watch time. Like you take these videos like this, it's 3-4 hours long. It takes like an hour after a video posts before YouTube gives you the first set of like your analytics, your numbers on there, average watch time and stuff like that. That first hour, one of these long video posts, the average watch times in the toilet, man. It's low because all of those people with those fake accounts are just clicking on the video for a second, leaving the comment and clicking off. And so that just kills your average watch time. Now then over the course of the night, when those people have left me alone, watch time jumps up dramatically. So by the end of the 24 hours, after the first day, it's back up where it should be. But right there in the beginning, when your video's either going to get pushed or it ain't on YouTube, like, those scammers, man, they kill your watch time. So I wish YouTube would do something about it. But I don't know how they're going to do anything about it. Because without them leaving a link or something, like I had banned links on my comments there a long time ago because the scammers were doing them. They were sending it to links to try to give them money and stuff like that. And so, pretty simple solution, just don't allow links in your comment box, and those comments, they go away or they get flagged. And so YouTube got on top of that a little bit, but now this new thing that's been going on it's been a few months now. I don't know how you fix it, because it's just, if they're leaving a random comment, how is a computer program that YouTube has, how are they going to be able to tell that regular comment from anybody else's regular comment? That fish needs to leave that bait alone. If he ain't going to eat it, he needs to leave it alone. I'll tell you what, folks, it's hotter than damn it out here. I mean, I don't know what time it is, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And it's hot as all get out. We've been at this, what, 2 hours? We need to catch some fish, y'all. Y'all need to hurry up and find these damn things. I'm gonna keep making my way down through here. We're just covering water today, man. We're just going down this ledge. We're gonna keep rolling with it. We're 35 feet deep right here right now. We're coming up in shallower depths now, and then it's gonna drop back off down through here. But I'm just trying to keep us around a half a mile an hour, give or take, as we troll along. Just kind of keeping these baits just off the bottom. He's after it again. I think he may have it. I don't think he means to have it, but I think he's got it. That's another dinkety doodle right here, man. It'd be one thing if we were catching these things left and right, but just the sporadic small dink. Oh, this one here ate the fly. I thought we was gonna get our first one on the white bass, but he said he'd rather eat that artificial bait than a piece of white bass. It's on the fly. He got it in the mouth too, buddy. It's another one that they ate it. Tiny old thing though. Lord, he's got us slimed up too. Thankfully, he left the bait on. That's one thing about white bass is it is a pretty hardy bait. Like, it's harder for them to rip this bait off and tear it off the hook than a piece of skipjack or a softer bait. Shad, for instance, is very, very soft bait. All right, let's send that back down. I think what I'm gonna do, that skipjack head, let's reel it up and check it. I just want to take a look at it. As hot as this water is, 79-degree surface temps, I'm concerned it's probably bled out. If it is, we'll just go ahead and we'll put that white bass head on. Yeah, it looks okay, but we'll go ahead and let's just go ahead and switch it out. I'll feel better about it if we do. When I'm fishing, only two, well, right over there got hit while we was sitting here. And I'm only fishing 2 rods. I just feel better if I've got super fresh bait. I saw that fish there I'll show you here on the screen in a second. Get down where he's at as this boat idles by. I don't know what the hell he's doing over here. But yeah, right here, you can see on the screen that fish there had come up and hit our other baits there while I was fooling with that other one. He seems to be gone now. I don't know what these guys over here are doing. I don't know if they're trolling or if they're just idling. I don't know. Let's see if we can't get back on the move though. I want to hook into something bigger than what we're getting today, man. I need me a Whopper today, y'all. And I ain't talking about the Burger King Whopper. I don't ever need one of them. You know, of all the fast food hamburgers, I won't say Burger King's the worst, but like their flame broiled Whoppers are definitely up there, one of the worst. Just driving down the road near a Burger King, you know, because you can smell it. It just, yeah. The fast food companies that don't survive this higher inflation time period, I hope Burger King's one that maybe bites the bullet. I talked about that in a recent video too, about how I think a lot of these fast food places are maybe gonna go out of business. I think there's some fast food franchises that's maybe gonna be like Sears and Kmart of the retail world back when Amazon come along. Once Amazon kind of got going, a lot of them brick and mortar stores, the Kmarts, the Sears, the Radio Shacks, places like that are kind of, you know, they're kind of just obsolete. You'll have stores like Walmart, of course, that's been able to adapt and get into the online sales and all that. Like you're gonna have the strong will survive in anything. But I think nowadays, with the fact I can cook a steak at home cheaper than what I can get an extra value meal. I don't even know how you call them an extra value meal anymore. As expensive as everything has gotten. Like, that's going to have to put a hurting on the businesses. And you have to think that the profit margins for a fast food restaurant can't be very good anyway, I wouldn't think. So I got a feeling some of these fast food places ain't going to survive. Like, I think we'll look back 10 years from now and be like, maybe some Burger Kings or some, I don't pick a restaurant, pick anything, but they could be like a Kmart or Sears at some point. You see it a little bit now. Like, we've had some local, I don't want to say fast food places, but like some local chains, I guess, if you will. Like, there was a barbecue place. They had 3 or 4 locations, I think. They just all of a sudden closed up shop. There was a Ham and Goodies. Like, they just immediately closed a couple locations around here. And I think we're going to see more and more of that as time goes on, as these food prices are just out of control. Either grocery prices are going to have to go up more to make fast food a better value again, at least comparatively. I'm going to say it's a better value, but just comparatively speaking to fixing something yourself. Because there was a while there where fast food was cheap enough. Like, if it's going to cost you the same price to fix something at home or get something fast food, and you were in a hurry or tired or whatever, well, it was super easy to go through a drive-through. But nowadays, with fast food prices being so high and the fact that none of these restaurants have any staff, so fast food's not fast anymore. You pull through a drive-through line, you're going to sit there 20 minutes. It's just, nowadays, it's like, hell, I just might as well fix something at home. It's going to take me just as long, and I'm going to get better food, and it's going to be cheaper. That, I can't be alone in that. Like, there has to be other people out there that's quit fast food too. And you get enough people to quit something, and you hurt that bottom line. And so, I don't know. I'm not a business expert, obviously. But I have to believe that some of these lower tier restaurants, the McDonald's, they'll adapt. Like, they're such a large company, such an established brand, like, they're going to adapt. But your I don't know how you'd classify them really. I guess when I think of restaurants, like fast food restaurants, there's McDonald's, obviously been around forever, super established. You've got your like KFC, which is, I know they're owned by like that Yum Brands or whatever. Like they're been around forever, super established. Fried chicken's very popular overseas and whatnot. They're not going anywhere. Taco Bell's not going anywhere. But your next class of restaurants down from that, like your Hardee's, your Wendy's, your Burger King, Long John Silver's, places like that, like, you know, the businesses that maybe they've got like one thing on their menu that like sets them apart from everybody else. Burger King's flame broiled burgers, they taste a little different. So if you like that kind of thing, maybe you go get a Burger King once in a while. Hardee's has the thick burger. Long John's a fast food, seafood type place, if you will. Those the kind of the niche restaurants, if you will. Like if they lose a percentage of their customers, it could put them under. A company like McDonald's, they're still going to take advantage of the convenience purchase. You get off the interstate, you're on a road trip, you pull in somewhere, there's a McDonald's at every exit. Like you're going to capture a lot of those convenience people. Hardee's, though, on the other hand, they take forever, and this was back when they had staff. Like, if you go to Hardee's, you're making a commitment to go to Hardee's. And the local Hardee's where I'm at, I ain't been there in forever. I'd stopped going because they never had any staff. They had actually stopped being open after breakfast hours. They were just opening for breakfast a few days a week for a while because they didn't have any staff. Like they couldn't be open at night. And I'm like, can you keep a business alive just on breakfast alone? Maybe, I guess they have, but they can't be thriving. As our head bait here gets a little, okay, he's gonna pull. Oh, he just let it go too. Well, that turd. Let's see if he comes back for it in a second. I forgot to close that cooler lid. He just hit it again? He did. I think he's got it, and he's kind of sitting there with it. My rod tip stood up, and my line's at an angle. Let's just, oh yeah, he'd come up in the water column with it. He was swimming up with it. Here, watch this. I'm gonna put him back just a second. I want to show you this. Right here is where he had come up, and here's where I started reeling him in. You can see he had swam up in the damn water column with it. Let's finish reeling him in here. He ain't very big, but I just wanted to show you that on the screen. He's same size as the other ones, just super small, super skinny. This one, he at least left the head on still, though. No longer, and it's been down there. It ought to still be good if he will not splash us every which way. And get it out of your system. Go on. Just don't fling that head off there in the process. We're going to reuse it. Oh. I think he got hooked with the stinger when he tried to swim off. See, that's what you get, fish. If you had acted like somebody, that wouldn't have happened. Here, let me get it. He didn't want to be on camera is what it was. He's all camera shy and stuff. There he goes. There he goes. He didn't want to hang out with y'all today. He said he just ain't kind of like me, not wanting to have interaction with people. That fish didn't want to have interaction with people either. He said he just couldn't deal with y'all today. I understand, I get it. I've got a hard time. See, that bait there still looks good and everything. Still got some of the innards hanging out of it. I'm about peopled out too with Daphne's behavior. I've had to interact with I wouldn't even call them neighbors. Hell, they're 2 miles away from me. Definitely not neighbors. But nevertheless, it takes a lot out of me to deal with people. A lot. And you know, and dealing with people too, it's like a muscle. You don't use it, you lose it. And I need to get better at it, but I just don't want to. People just ain't worth a damn anymore. Individuals are. Like, I'm sure a lot of you watching out there right now, good people. But people as a whole, society as a whole, it's went down the toilet. You know what I'm talking about too, like you see it. Everything's just gone to crap. I don't know how we're going to get it back either. Like, I think it's just how it is. My area is getting worse and worse because it ain't even our people anymore. We got all these New Yorkers and Californians moving here. We're getting bombarded with people from the north moving down here. And then we're getting bombarded from people from the south coming over the border. I don't know where they're going. I guess they've got family here. You know, you drive by some of these houses downtown where I live, and there'll be 37 people out in the yard. I guess they all live in that house. But you go through town where I live anymore, it used to just all be Tennesseans, people born and raised here. And now, like I said, I take Daphne over there to a walking trail. I might be the only American there. It's a different time now, man. It's a different time. It's a different place. It's just, as they said back on that movie, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, times they are a-changing. Classic movie, by the way. Highly recommend it. I could probably quote most of that movie. Oh, I gotta pay attention where I'm at here. We're going up 28 feet. I was trying to get us back over. You can see it kind of drops off over here. There's a shallow flat. It drops off to kind of a deeper flat and then comes over here, and the old river channel runs through here. I've gotten way too much over here, so we need to get back to the left here, but we're about to be dragging bottom here in the meantime, and it's a good way to get yourself snagged when you use suspending baits is to come up shallow like that and not be paying attention. That'll get you snagged up quick, fast, and in a hurry. Yeah, here's another thing I was wondering about as we were getting our toes done. And I'd like to ask, but again, I can't speak the language, so. All these little nail salon places, right? Like, we've got several of them in my area. You've got the nail salons, the hair places, you've got the like massage places. You've got all of these Asian people here working at these spas and whatnot. I can't figure out where are they living at? Do they all live together? in one house? Because when you go out to the stores, you take like the Mexican people in my area, like I see them at the parks, I see them on the walking trails. You go eat somewhere, like you see them everywhere. But the Asian people that works at these spas, outside of the spa, you never see them. Like, I don't know where they go. Like, what do they do? What do they do for fun? Where do they live? Do they all live in the same house? Do they have their own individual houses? Where do they get their groceries at? You never see them at the grocery store, ever. Do they not eat? Like, I mean, I just want to know how they live. How did they get here? Are they American citizens? Are they here on a visa? Who owns their spa? Is it family owned? Is it corporate owned? Is it a money laundering operation? I want to know these things, but you can't just, I can't just ask those things. One, because I don't speak the language, and two, I feel like I'm going to be asking some personal questions. I mean, if I was a little Asian girl that barely spoke any English and some white man was asking me where I live at, that would be a little creepy probably. So I mean, I can't, and it wouldn't be like I'm going to be going and stalking these people or anything, but you know what I mean? I'm just curious. Like, what part of town do they live in? Are they in the slums? Are they living in some bougie gated neighborhood? I mean, like I said, business seems to be doing pretty good at all them spa locations. These things seem to be going well for them. There's always a bunch of white women in there with their fake Gucci purses, like every time. So business is good. But if they're money laundering operations, then they've clearly got more money coming in too. So like, you would think if they're, and there's a lot, I mean, every one of these, of course we've been to 2 now, but every time we've been, there's been, gosh, at least 10 hot Asian girls in there, plus the old people that seem to somehow end up with me. Like they've got some staff in these places. Do each one of them have their own house? Are they sharing a place? I'm just curious. I'm just curious where they're staying, how they're living, what do they do for fun? How the hell did they get here? Like, how does somebody from wherever the hell they're at, China, Vietnam, wherever, the other side of the planet, how do they end up in Podunk, Tennessee? Like, how is that possible? Why is that possible? Like, why here? Do they just like open up a map of America, throw a dart, and, I don't know. I want to know. I definitely want to know, but, it's just one of them things. There's a communication barrier. And then hell, would they even tell me the truth? I don't know. I would imagine the people in Vietnam probably have to hate us, right? As Americans, like they probably have to, with us going over there and the war and all that. I mean, I'm sure the people that are my age in Vietnam were probably told by their parents to hate America. I'm sure, like I would assume. So when they come over here, do they bring that anger with? I don't know, but I would just assume there would be a lot of animosity toward us. Here's something along those lines too that I found interesting, or maybe just kind of stupid. I thought it was an attempt by a politician just to get some media attention. but it didn't make any damn sense when you really thought about it. So there was a story, and I done forgot which politician it was, but like he was against, there was some bill or something going through, and like he was against it because it was going to allow American girls, women, to be eligible for the draft. So, and I've got a lot of people watch my videos in foreign countries. Let me tell you how it works here in America. So as a man in America, when you turn 18, you are eligible to be drafted. If we go to war, we can be called up into service. And that was a big deal back in the Vietnam War. There was draft dodgers, some of them famous. Bill Clinton, obviously, I think he got accused of being a draft dodger. I remember that was the thing when I was younger, when I was a kid, when he was president. I think there was something about him dodging the draft. Muhammad Ali, obviously, very, very famous, probably one of the most famous athletes ever, Muhammad Ali, was protesting during that time period and all that. But anyway, I was just reading the headlines there, that article of that politician, all upset about the possibility of women being drafted. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, you know, there will never be a time again in my lifetime where anyone gets drafted in America. It'll never happen again. Never. The patriotism in this country's gone. Like nobody trusts the government anymore. The United States government, nobody. Even the patriotic people that are still left in this country. And there's fewer and fewer all the time. But even the people who still are patriotic, the people who will say the Pledge of Allegiance and stand up, take your hat off during the national anthem at a ball game, even those people are smart enough now that they don't trust the government. Can you imagine now if we were going to war with somebody over one of these politician fights? Not even a real problem for us Americans, but just politics. Just United States doing what United States does, just trying to be the police force of the world. Can you imagine if they tried to have a draft in 2024? Forget the whole trying to include women in it now. Forget that, just the men. Do you know what kind of revolt there would be in the United States? Like, it would never happen in 2024. Now, back in the Vietnam, a lot of people were against it. A lot of people didn't want to go to the war, and rightly so. Now, history is hindsight 2020 type thing. Knowing what we know now, obviously, we should have never been there. But, even back then, people were against it, man. People were protesting the streets like this war, but yet when people got drafted, they went because it was your patriotic duty. With patriotism pretty much being dead nowadays, if they tried to have a draft, that would be the end of democracy in America. Like, that would be the final nail in the coffin on democracy in America if they tried to send modern day Americans to a war that shouldn't be happening. And I've said this before about humanity coming together. We would have to have a common enemy, a common threat. It would have to be humans facing extinction. Maybe it's the Terminator from this AI that we're building. Maybe aliens are real and they come invade us at some point, and humans have to band together to defend our planet. Sure, in that situation, have your draft. We'll all be banded together. We're facing extinction as the human species. But just some random war that politicians are wanting to fight on the other side of the planet as a fish. Give us a little tap there. I just don't see it happening, man. Like, I just don't think people would go. I don't think people would go. I think there would be riots in the streets. Even people now that are maybe, you can call, I mean, again, the people who are standing up for the national anthem at the ball games, taking their hats off, being respectful, people who are respectful of our flag and our country. I certainly fall into that category. If I'm at a sporting event, the national anthem comes on, by God, you stand up, you take your hat off, you put your hand over your heart. I mean, it's the patriotic thing to do. It's respectful. I don't support or condone any of these athletes trying to make their protest by kneeling at the national anthem or sitting for it. They need to get their ass up. This is America, by God, and the opportunities they have here are because they're American. They need to show some damn respect. It pisses me off. I can't stand those people. But with that said, that's where my patriotism ends. Like, I'm not going to go, fight some random war. I don't know. I don't know if I can still be drafted or not, honestly. At my age, I'm pretty sure there's an age cutoff somewhere in there. You got to sign up for it there when you're 18, but I don't know what the age. I may not even be eligible to be drafted. But if they tried to draft me, yeah, let me put my life on hold so I can go over there and be policeman to guard some poppy fields in Afghanistan or something. You're out of your damn mind. Nobody would go for it. And even the people that love America, standing for the anthem, people that still feel some pride and patriotism for being here. You think they're going to let their kids go over there and fight some politician's war at this point in 2024? Hell no. It wouldn't happen. Forget about it. It ain't going to happen. Forget about it. Like, it would be political suicide for them to even try it. So this whole thing, like, I saw this article. This politician was upset and getting him some media attention because there was something in a bill there that was going to allow for women to be drafted. I'm like, it's a big to-do about nothing, because there will never be another draft. Never. And so whether women can be drafted or not, it don't matter, because they'll never get drafted. It'll never happen. Now, on that note, why the hell aren't women allowed to be drafted? That's a good question. It seems kind of sexist that they can't. Now, I know maybe women don't want to be drafted, but equal rights, equal pay, you got to take the good with the bad. If you want the good, the equal rights and equal pay and all that, well, by God, if men are going to be forced into going to Vietnam, then by God, women should have been forced to go too. So there's that. Listen, I don't want women. I don't want anybody to have to go to some war that they shouldn't be in. And we shouldn't have been in Vietnam. We shouldn't have been a lot of places that we're involved in. We shouldn't be funding a lot of these wars that are going on. Whether we're directly involved with our troops or not, our tax dollars are going to a lot of these wars. I disagree with that. But you ain't getting people drafted, buddy. Forget about it. Not in 2024. Like, it's just, The patriotism, the faith in the United States government, like it's too far down the road. It's too gone. You're not going to get it back. We're too divided in this country. It'll never be better. I don't know how you would get people. I've spent a fair amount of time thinking about this as we've gotten so, and I'm not even going into politics. Save your political crap from the comment box. Like, I don't do politics in the comment box. But throw that out. Take any walk of life right now. Just how we are toward each other. It's totally divisive. Like, you're either part of this group or you ain't. And if you ain't, you're the devil. Like, it's everything. It's just, there's so much conflict in this country. Like, it's just constantly, there's sparks flying around all these fuses. And it's just a matter of, like, I don't know how you bring people together in 2024. Like, I don't know how you do it. It's not going to be a politician that does it. Like, I just don't think it's, I don't know how you get it back. And I hope at my current age, I hope I still got half my life left to live. If all goes well, if I can stay healthy and no accidents and whatnot, no major unexpected illnesses, then, maybe I still got half my life left. Like, I don't know. I've seen how much it's changed in, say, the last 10, 15 years. I don't know where we're going to be at as a society 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Like, if I was somebody, and I'm sure some of y'all out there watching this right now are in this situation where you've got small children, or maybe you're trying to have kids. It's got to be a little bit scary, I would think, as a parent, bringing a child into this world today. It's one thing, just your normal day-to-day life. You maybe don't really notice. But when you just look around and you scroll through social media is the problem. That's the real problem. But when you see just how people are acting toward each other, and sure, a lot of that stuff on social media is fake. Let's be real. A lot of it's fake accounts and stuff, just trying to stir the pot. But regardless of whether it's real people or not who stir in the pot gets stirred. And there's some real people that's getting stirred around in that pot. And I see it. I see a lot of people, just take the catfish community. And I'm very loosely associated with the catfish community at this point. I've got the community of you all who watch these videos. Like, you all are my community. The overall catfish community, I honestly don't really consider myself to be a part of. I'm not really welcomed or respected in that community, and why the hell would I want to be a part of a community where I'm not welcomed and respected, honestly? So I don't keep a lot of friends in the catfishing world. I'm not part of any Facebook groups, or like, I'm just not outside of the guys who fish our tournament trail. Like, I'm just not really in that world. But I know enough people in that world. I see their posts, their videos, stuff like that. Like, I see them getting brought into this, regardless of whether the person triggering the debates and the conflicts, whether or not the person who's triggering it and starting it is real or propaganda or whatever. It don't matter. The people who are getting brought into it, they are real. And I see how they react and respond, and it's like, boy, it's just, man, it's just And it's like that across so many things. And I mean, I'm just talking about catfishing right now, just the catfishing world. Just have somebody get online and say something about these pay lakers robbing our rivers, and watch how both sides just clash and go at each other's throats. And that's just about a damn catfish, man. Imagine something a little bit more serious in life, man. It's just like there's all those little landmines all over the place in all walks of life, in all communities. And it's just getting more and more, there's just more and more conflict all the time. We're seeing more and more, like, out in public conflicts. Boy, big splash right over there. I don't know what the hell that was. He ain't gonna come back up now either. But you see it more and more just all over society in public now. These demonstrations turning violent, and again, is it bad apples in there purposely doing that? Maybe they're what's causing the physical violence of these things, but by gosh, it's happening regardless. And so as normal human beings, the smart thing would be to just avoid those situations, you would think, but people still show up. They go, they're susceptible to being dragged into it. We had a little love tap there. And so, like, that's not going to change. It's just going to get worse. I don't know how you fix it, man. And for damn sure ain't going to be me that fix it. I'm just trying to survive it. I'm trying to make it another 35, 40 years or so is what I'm trying to do. I'm going to lower these baits down a little bit here. We're 38 feet. I think from here down, I think we're going to kind of maintain this depth here, maybe drop off just a little bit more possibly. And we're just covering water, man. We're just looking to run into some fish. So far, I mean, well, we've gotten several fish, but we're struggling on quality today. And that's kind of part of fishing this time of year, is you're not necessarily going to always find them big fish this time of year, but the chance is always there. I bust big fish every year during the spot. I've got some already in recent videos of fish that were pretty good fish for the time of year, but didn't know what was going on here on this section of the river. Again, this is a shorter drive from my house to come here, and I just wanted to fish somewhere close today. I mean, it's miserable hot out here already, y'all. Like, I need to grab my buff and put on. But I mean, it's early morning still, and it's a pressure cooker out here. It's just that time of year, man. If we had some clouds, it may not be as bad, but it's a sunny day, and it's just hot. That's the only thing I can say about it. It's hot. So I didn't really want to drive a long ways to be at a point where I'm going to have to get up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to be able to get there at sunrise. And I for dang sure don't want to be on the water at noon trying to grind out a bite. I thought I'll come here, we'll check it out. Would hopefully get numbers of fish and maybe stick a big one too, possibly. So far, we ain't really, and we've got a few fish, but we're not getting the not getting the amount of action that I had hoped for. I had hoped coming here we would get, we've got several fish, but I mean, I was hoping it would be a lot more frequent. We'd be having rods go down. Maybe get on a school, well, good timing there, fish, as he hit it, but didn't go anywhere with it. I thought we might get in situations where we go through a little school, have both rods going down, catch a few off that school, move along. We just ain't, we've come across just sporadic fish so far. We've not found the school or a school. But bound to happen eventually. You can't, that's one thing about doing this style of fishing. When you're working these ledges, it's hard to get skunked. Even if you have an inferior bait, if you put that bait, if you cover enough water, you get that bait down there in their faces, and you cover a long enough distance, like you're going to eventually, you're going to hit a fish in the face eventually, just covering that kind of water. And you put enough baits in their faces, like you're gonna get some bites. So it's hard to get skunked doing this technique. Now, you may not catch a lot of fish every day. You may not catch big fish every day, but it's hard to get skunked doing this. Like, it's really hard. I'll tell you what I got to do right now, though. Y'all bear with me here just a second. Let me get my purse out here. Talk about them women and their purses. Here's my Yeti purse, my camera bag. I gotta bust out my buff here, or else my head and the side of my neck's gonna burn. Wouldn't hurt me to wash this thing either. I ain't washed this buff in probably a year, y'all. This thing's probably, this thing's nasty. I don't care. I don't care right now. I just need something to stick over my face and my neck and keep from getting burned. Get me a swig here. Bear with me a second, y'all. My throat's all dry and stuff where I've got this, I guess it's a cold I'm fighting off. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm all nasally and snotty and stuff. Could this be possibly allergies too? Yeah, I need to get just a little bit to the right here. We're kind of on the left side of this old river channel. Really tightens down here. It narrows down through here. It's still wide, but it's you've got this flat up here to our right, and then it drops off, and then the old river channel here is very narrow, and then it comes up over here to this big island. Like, we need to, I want to stay more toward the right side of this old channel because it kind of loops around here, so we're going to be on the outside of it as we go around by staying over here. There are some mussel beds through this area too. It's kind of a, there's a rougher bottom here. I've dragged this area before. It's kind of rough. There are some mussel beds down through here that'll usually be productive in the summer months. Hopefully we're just gonna stumble into a pile of fish. If we get on a pile of fish, or if I get me a big fish, I'm gonna go home happy today. I'm not gonna go home with the fish that we've gotten so far. I mean, I'm not gonna go home in a bad mood, but I would like to catch more and bigger than what we've got. I don't think that's asking a lot. We've set the bar pretty low for ourselves thus far. We come across a couple fish down there. I seen one come up and look at our baits. I think we're gonna have to lower 41 feet here now. We're going to have to lower down a little bit. That's one thing about you've got to raise and lower your baits as you go along. As the depth changes, you've got to change with it when you are suspend fishing like this. That's one thing that I think, well, we just lowered that bait down. Look at here. Has he got it? I think he dropped it. That's one thing, though, that you don't see necessarily in an edited video is the actual process of fishing. You see, you know, in an edited video from a trip like today, you're going to have clips, basically, of rods getting hit, reeling up fish, but you're not going to see the actual process of how we move along the ledge and having to compensate for the depth changes. Like that's something you have to do when you're suspending. Now, if we were dragging baits, we'd have our baits there on bottom and kind of set it and forget it, if you will. Just pull along. But personally, I really like suspend fishing. It's my favorite way to fish. It's the most fun way to catch them. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do today. I just wanted to, a day like today, I mean, we're not in a tournament or anything. It don't matter how many fish we catch. I just want to catch some. So I'm going to try to have the most fun doing it. And to me, I think suspend fishing is the most fun way to get them. So that's what I want to do. Somebody hollering up there on the hill. I hope he ain't hollering at me. He's yelling, "Dad." It can't be me. But if he's hollering "Dad" at me, he's we won't be writing that check today, do we? I'm innocent on that one. There's some people over there that's got an American flag in their yard. That's something else you don't see a lot of anymore, is people having flags in their yard. If you do see a flag, it's usually a "Don't Tread on Me" or a rebel flag. It ain't like an American flag. People used to put up stuff, I mean, like around, like especially like Memorial Day, 4th of July. They would go to good effort to make their house and businesses look patriotic with flags and red, white, and blue decorations and stuff. And nowadays, you just don't really see that as much. It's a thing of the past. Patriotism's over. The trust for the government's gone, and I don't know how you ever get it back. I think most people just fall in line these days just out of fear. You don't pay your taxes, you know, you go to jail. It's a fearful thing. Most people probably feel powerless, can't really do anything about it. It's like my stomach growling right now. It's probably picking up on camera. I can't do anything about it because I don't have any snacks with me. I had some cookies, and I ate them all as I was pedaling along before I started filming. I was working my way upriver there. I was eating them cookies, and I ate them all. I should have saved some, but I didn't. I was irresponsible today with snack management. I don't want to be eating on camera anyway. I still got a little bit of a complex. I used to have snacks with me and stuff, and inevitably, this is back when I was doing edited videos too. This ain't like these unedited ones. But it would always happen. I would be in the middle of eating a snack, and that's when a fish is going to hit. So I'd have a mouthful of cookie or a mouthful of sunflower seeds, and fish hits, and so I'm trying to talk and chew and all that, and people were just leaving all kinds of nasty comments about it. And it kind of gave me a little bit of a complex, so I stopped eating on camera. And so, especially these unedited videos, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be eating out my, whatever the sound was, whether I was spitting sunflower seeds or chewing something crunchy. I mean, it's just, it would just be coming through the microphone. I mean, hell, right now, me swallowing this gulp of water, probably coming through the microphone. People would undoubtedly complain about it. So y'all just have to listen to my stomach growl. I'll go home and, you know what I'm gonna have today though, when I get home? And it'll probably be more, you know me, I hate brunch eaters. Brunch eater people are the worst, but it'll probably be brunch time when I'm eating today. I'm gonna have me a vegetable platter from my garden. It's that time of year. Garden is producing daily peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes. Like, it's just, even in the small garden that I have, like, I'm getting plenty enough for me. So these summer months, I'll oftentimes go home and instead of eating a normal lunch, I'll eat a vegetable platter of stuff from my garden. And while some of you out there might be thinking, well, gee, Justin, that's a really healthy lunch you're having. It's actually not, because time I eat a half a bottle of ranch dressing that I'm gonna dip these vegetables into, it's gonna end up not being all that healthy. But it tastes good, and it's awesome picking stuff from your garden to eat. I mean, right now, I'm having to manually water the garden because we ain't been having a lot of rain lately. But it's paying off, man. I mean, I'm getting cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes. I'm getting them every day. And so I'm going to enjoy some of that today for brunch. Can't stand a brunch eater. The brunch eaters are different kinds of people. They're all snooty. Anybody that eats brunch is snooty. I don't like snooty people. Yeah, I mean, there's exceptions to it. I mean, I like women, obviously, and they're all snooty toward each other, especially concerning their purses. I'm telling you, man, if you're a dude out there and you're wanting to impress your girlfriend, like do something nice for her, do not think you're going to go to a flea market and buy some $20 purse and make her happy. You go home and she's going to know instantly that that's not a real, I don't care if you even got like a Gucci box, a shopping bag. You could print you up a Gucci receipt. She's going to take one look at that handbag and she's going to be like, nope. If this was a real Gucci pocketbook, the logo would be a millimeter more to the left right here. You see how this is, the logo is 3 millimeters this way instead of 1.5 millimeters? It's fake. Like, I'm telling you fellas, you want to do something nice for your lady, don't think you're going to get her, if you're going to get her a fancy purse, you better spring for the real one. because she's going to see right through it. She's going to know you got it at the flea market. And I don't know, like when we're out somewhere, she always points this kind of stuff out. She's like a purse expert, purses and shoes. She's got way too many of both. And when she points out these women that's got a $20 purse, it's fake or whatever, I'm always like, well, I mean, again, I'm a function over style kind of guy. Like, as far as a pocketbook goes, does it store, can you carry your makeup and your tampons in it? If you can, well, you know what? It's functional. But when she points out these people, when they've got a $20 purse, I'm like, you know, that person's they're kind of frugal. That seems kind of smart to me, to have a $20 purse versus a $500 purse. So I'm always kind of find those women more relatable, I guess. And sometimes she'll point them out, and she'll be like, you see that girl's shoes, and again, we'll be at a restaurant somewhere, we're waiting, and she'll tap me. Hey, Justin. Hey, don't be obvious, but glance over to your left. Look at this girl's shoes over there. Because again, we got to talk real quiet because we're in public. We're waiting. We're at a restaurant. We're waiting or something. Can't be obvious what we're doing with our people watching. But you glance over and you check out this person's shoes, and you know, I look back at her and she's like, those shoes, they're $800. And I'm like, $800 damn dollars for those? It's like they got holes in them. But that's style. Same thing with their blue jeans. Be like, you know, and again, she'd be like, hey, Justin, look over there at this girl's pants. You know, and I glance over and they're ripped. The jeans are ripped from like the thigh down below the knee. I mean, they look like they're falling apart. That's style now. Women literally pay money for pants with holes in them. Like used to, you know, you take me for instance, I buy a pair of jeans, I've got them jeans for life. Like one of two things are gonna happen with me and a pair of blue jeans. Either one, I'm gonna wear them until they get holes in them, or two, I'm gonna wear them till I outgrow them. My waist as I get older seems to be expanding a bit, so every 2 to 3 years I gotta get me a new pair of blue jeans. But women nowadays are buying these jeans that look like they're just worn out. But that's style. If blue jeans ain't got both knees ripped out, women are judging each other. They want to look like they're doing manual labor, even though the women who are wearing these jeans would never be caught dead doing manual labor. Women are fascinating. It's fascinating how they are and how they interact with each other. I feel like there should be some studies done. Like instead of having all these protests at the colleges, maybe instead they should be studying human behavior. Because women are just fascinating with how they are toward each other. But some of the things, like the purses, the expensive shoes, the blue jeans with holes in them, like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand how it's supposed to be attractive. Like nobody thinks homeless people are a problem in the United States. Like we have homeless people everywhere. And I know you hear that I'm 3,000 miles away from California. So I'm not out there. I don't see it, but you obviously hear about California being like the worst state for homelessness. Just these homeless camps really just taking over city streets, and just drug use everywhere. Like it's rampant. It's a problem. But it's a problem everywhere. I mean, we've got homeless here in Tennessee. I mean, hell, my town, like there's places you go, you drive by the interstate, there's gonna be somebody out there panhandling. There's tents set up in the woods off the interstate. I mean, like it's everywhere. And it ain't cool. It's a problem. Nobody, it's just one of them things. But nevertheless, women nowadays buy these blue jeans and they try to look like they're homeless. What is this buzzing? I think these kids over here flying a drone or something. I kept hearing it buzzing. I think they're flying a drone around or something. Well, they're going to be hearing an interesting conversation, ain't they? Talking about how women today look homeless. It's the truth, though. And they'll pay a lot of money for them jeans that's already ripped. Lots of money. I'm glad I'm not a woman. I mean, for a variety of reasons. But it would be expensive to be a woman. Just doing the basics to fit in. The purses, the jeans with holes in them. Like one thing about that rod right there got hit. One thing about us men, I don't think men even really notice what clothes we're wearing. Like I'll wear pretty much anything. My friends, they'll wear pretty much anything. I don't think any of us have ever, I mean, my friend Ryan that fishes the tournaments, he wears Crocs, them shoes, them stupid, like molded shoes. He wears Crocs and has socks on. Like, if you're going to do something just blatantly obvious and stupid like that, of course we're going to comment on it. But otherwise, I mean, I'm trying to think of who the last, well, my neighbor up the street, he's a man. I had to go up there and get Daphne the other day. If you ask me right now what he was wearing, hell, I couldn't, if I had to give a police statement like a sketch artist, like I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the hell he was wearing. I wasn't paying no damn attention. I don't care. But I guarantee you, go ask your girlfriend right now, your wife, if she went to a little book club meeting or whatever the hell women do with their friends aside from going to the nail spa, and you ask her what her best friend was wearing yesterday, I bet you she can tell you the earrings she had on, the blue jeans, the shoes. Like, she'll have a mental picture, photographic memory of what her best friend was wearing. She can tell you every article of clothing she was wearing yesterday. I'm like, I can't, hell, I couldn't tell you what, I mean, I'm the type of person, like I'll wear the same thing over and over and over again. Like blue jeans, I've got 2 pair of blue jeans. I got one that I wear, and I've got an older pair that I use if I'm mowing or doing yard work in. So like if I go on a trip somewhere and I'm gonna be wearing blue jeans the whole time, I'm literally gonna be wearing the same blue jeans all the time. Like that's just, I mean, how many pairs of pants do you need? Now I've got different shirts and whatnot, but even still, I mean, I wear the same thing all the time. I'm out here fishing, I'm out here, I got these sunscreen clothes on, long sleeves, and water resistant pants here. These Columbia pants or whatever, but again, it's like I wear the same damn thing all the time. I don't get it. I'll tell you what else I don't get is why we ain't catching more fish. Like this is a problem, y'all. And we've only got a few fish today, and they've all been small. I'm trying to, right now, I mean, we're still working our way down this ledge, of course, but I'm trying not to pedal as much. The wind is kind of, well, we might find, boy, right on cue. Oh, that one's gonna pull. That one's gonna pull. Is he still on? Yeah, he's still on. Okay, folks, we just got us a better one right here. This one's a better one. Right on cue. I was just talking about how I was ready to catch a fish. Disappointed we hadn't got more. This is a better one here, man. Or he's foul hooked, possibly. Could be a foul hook situation. Oh, there goes my other one. Okay, maybe we're, okay. He hit it, he didn't hook up. He's got it now. He's got it now. Look at that one. We're doubled. We're doubled, folks. Maybe we're finally getting on some here. It's took 2 or 3 hours, however the hell long we've been at this, but finally getting on some. I think this is a blue. I think I just felt him roll. We'll get this one up the surface and we'll reel our other one up. I see some more on the screen down there too. You can see there, hopefully on the graph, you can see, hopefully. There's some more fish down there. We finally come across a school of them. Yeah, this is a fun sizer here. He's not as big as I thought. Is he foul hooked? No, he's just got a bad attitude. He's just fired up. Okay, let's set him there. And let's reel in fish number 2 of the double. This one on the head. All right. Well, what I want to do, folks, I want to get these 2 landed. We'll land a fish, drop a bait down, and then land another one. That way we can hopefully hook up again while we're waiting. This one ate the fly. Let's get rid of this one first. Since he ate the fly, we'll drop this head bait back down and have it down there while we fool with the other one here, because he's going to be a little bit bigger. Boy, that head bait's barely hanging on to the hook too. Let's bring him in. This one actually got the fly up under the chin. Let's see what we can do with this mess. I know, Blue Kitty, I know. You done got that hook up under the chin, didn't you? Okay. Well, you tell these people hi and bye. We gotta try to catch your friends down here. Let's see what we can do with this. We're gonna switch this head bait out in a minute. But right now, we're just gonna drop it down just to have it down there until I can cut another bait and get this other fish, get him gone. Since we finally got on some fish here, the wind is pushing us downstream. We may go back up here in just a second when I get another bait cut and all that. Boy, this one fought hard for his size. I mean, incredibly hard. I thought he was significantly bigger than he is. I mean, it ain't a bad fish. It's a fun sizer, but he fought above the weight class for sure. Here, y'all wanna, we ain't had many opportunities to put y'all in the front seat today. It's actually the first opportunity to get y'all in the front seat. So let's see if we can do that. I don't know what this boat is coming down through here right now, but it's loud. Come here, fish. Let's see if we can get you landed before this boat gets down here. No, oh, easy. Easy. He actually ain't hooked very good. Okay. Wonder if this ain't like an airboat or something. There he is. I mean, just a fun size length, kind of skinny. We got the sun behind us, fish. It ain't your day. But dang good fight though, man. I thought he was a lot bigger than what he is. I wish you'd come off now, fish. You could have been the big one that got away. Now we've seen you, now we know. It is an airboat, Lord. These airboats, man. Why the hell you need an airboat in water that's 50 feet deep, I don't know. But they are obnoxious, they are so loud. These things will wake the dead. Let's put y'all back in here. We gotta do some cutting on bait. This airboat man goes by. Look at this guy. It looks fun. I mean, they're obnoxious, but it does look fun. Try to find us a bait. I mean, it's one of them things. It's like, if I could drive one time, like that might be that'd be a good time. But just from a functionality standpoint, like what the hell you need one of those for? Here in East Tennessee, like you ain't driving through a swamp around here. You got water that's 50 plus feet everywhere you turn. And they're so damn loud. He's putting off all that wind there behind him with that giant fan. He ought to blew it over here by us. It's hotter than damn it out here. It'd be nice to have a fan going right now. I should have brought my little Ryobi fan. I've used that before in years past there on these hot summer trips. My mom got me a fan for Christmas one year. It operates on a drill battery, and the fan will run like it's like a, you know, like a circulating fan, like a little house fan, but it'll run for a long time on that drill battery. And so it's a nice thing to have on a hot day like today. But I didn't bring it. Didn't even think about it. Figured we'd be off the water here before it got too miserably hot, which I ain't gonna fish maybe 30, 45 minutes or so. It's gonna be just one of them days. We getting off the water early today, get my fishing done, log about 4 hours or so, and catch me some fish, have me some fun, and go home and hope to God Daphne ain't destroyed the house. Let's get that slime off of here. Let's do this. I'll tell you what, let's we've drifted down. The wind has pushed us down just a little bit here while I was fighting those two fish and getting reset. Let's loop back around. Just right up here beyond this pole and see if we can spot those fish again. Maybe they hung out, maybe they may have done moved on. They clearly didn't move downstream with us. But either way, we'll run back up here just a little bit, because there were several more fish on the screen there when I was fighting them two. Like we went through a school, but we only had 2 rods down, so we only had 2 opportunities to catch them. Yeah, I'm not really seeing. We're up here above now where we caught them at. They may have done moved on, done scattered. You get those fish like that, like they're actively moving. So If you can't sit there and keep dropping the bait down to them, then what reason do they have to stay? They were actively moving anyway. Okay, here goes this white bass head. Send that down, we'll get our body chunk on, and we'll be reset. We'll have 2 fresh baits down there, and we'll just keep drifting down. That wind is blowing perfectly downstream the direction it's going right now. So I mean, this is perfect. We'll just drift with the wind. It's blowing very slowly too. I mean, it's got us moving very slowly, so it's really perfect. We'll just use it. All right. Here is our body chunk going down. Here goes Osprey. We've pissed off this Osprey over here beside us. He's got a nest up on this pole. All right, 37 feet here where we're at the moment. Cutting board clean, we're back in the game right there, man. Nice, we get some more action like that. Like I said, I ain't going home unhappy today. I just could be happier. If we could get some more fish or get some better quality fish. Get that piece of meat out of there. I cleaned the kayak here recently, I don't know if you can tell. I scrubbed it down, washed it. So it's back looking presentable again. I did this one, I didn't do my other one. My other one there's a lot more pain in the butt to clean because of the texture of the plastic. This plastic here is smooth. You spray it with water hose, take a sponge to it, clean. No time at all. My other one's got that rougher texture to it, so you really gotta scrub. You gotta get a brush and scrub. Get all that dirt free. I gotta do something with that other kayak at some point. I'm probably gonna change kayaks at some point. This summer, this fall, I don't know. There's no kayaks out that I'm just really in love with right now. As far as my other kayak setup goes, this is my favorite. The kayak I'm in here today. This is an Old Town Big Water pedal kayak, PDL 132 they call it. This is my favorite kayak of any of them that I've been in. It's just more fun to catch fish out of a small. This is a big enough kayak. It can support my weight. It can support the weight of me landing a big fish. But it's small enough that it's still, I feel like you still get that kayak fishing experience out of it. So of all the kayaks I've had, this has been my favorite. Now there were some other kayaks I've had that I really liked. My Native Ultimate, which was the very first video I ever posted on this channel. I had that kayak for years before I ever got into YouTube. Like, I had a lot of fun and enjoyed fishing out of it, but it was a paddle kayak, so my range was limited. It was a sit inside type kayak, so water conditions, there's a lot of factors that really prevented me from being able to fish in it all the time. But I had a lot of fun with the fish I caught in it. My Hobie Outback, I really liked it. It was kind of uncomfortable. The seat set kind of low, and of course the Hobie pedaling motion my body hates it. Here comes that damn airboat again. Hell far, he just went down, now he's coming back. He's coming back now. That thing's flying though, man. He's got some speed with that thing. I guarantee you it's fun to drive. But, okay, now see, now he's actually using it. He's cutting over here by this island. And that water over there is dirt shallow. And so he can go right across it. So that's more suited, I guess, for being in an airboat. But Out here, when you're 50 feet deep out here, hell, what the hell you need that thing for? Other than just to annoy the hell out of people. A lot of them bow fishermen use the airboats because they're up real shallow, going after carp and whatnot, but no, I didn't see no lights on that one, so I don't think he's really into that kind of thing. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, my Hobie Outback that I had, it was a damn good kayak, and I enjoyed being in the smaller space of the Hobie. It was just my main reason for getting rid of it was just the fact that it was, the seat set so low, and the seat was so, that bar at the front of the seat was always kind of cutting into me. And of course the Hobie pedaling motion, my body just hates that pedaling style, that stepping motion. Like I get sciatica, I just can't do it. And so of the kayaks I've had, this one is my favorite. It's just, the seat sets up high enough, I'm comfortable, the pedaling motion doesn't bother me. It's big enough, I can do everything I want to do in this kayak, but yet it's still small enough that I can have my kayak fishing experience. It's a light enough weight, I can launch it anywhere. Like, so of all the platforms I've had, this one is my favorite by a mile. But I do want a kayak that's got all the bells and whistles on it too. And so for that, I need a bigger platform. And you know, I want this kayak for my fun and just normal day like today. And I want another kayak with all the bells and whistles for when I go fish a tournament somewhere, or, you know, something like that, like be able to support the weight of a motor and batteries and all the bells and whistles and stuff that goes with it. Need a bigger kayak with a bigger weight capacity and all that to have that stuff on there. So in that category of kayaks, I'm still just not really, there's nothing out there that just really, I'm like, man, I gotta have that, you know, it doesn't exist. So I've just stuck with my Hobie, my other Hobie there, the Hobie Pro Angler, and it's been a good kayak. I mean, I got that kayak, I bought it used, it's a 2017 model. I bought it used in 2019. And so, I mean, I've had that thing 5 years now, and it's seen a lot of use, and it's certainly seen better days. Like it's, you know, it's pretty rough shape at this point. But I mean, it's still functional. It's just, when I find myself in choppy water, especially when you go places that's, for instance, if you're fishing a tournament, you can't cherry pick your days like you do when you're coming out here just fishing for fun. If the weather looks like crap, well, maybe I just don't fish that day. If it's going to start out calm and then the wind's going to kick up, well, go out and fish while it's calm, and when the wind starts blowing, call it a day, go home. Well, that's fine on a normal trip. But if you're in a tournament and you've got designated hours, like you're going to fish from, our tournaments normally run like 7 to 3, let's say. Well, in those situations, you got to just play the hand you dealt for those 8 hours. And so if the wind's blowing, it's blowing. If it's storming, it's storming. If the water's rough, the water's rough. Like, you just got to go adapt and try to grind out some fish in whatever those conditions are. And the Hobie, with that big front hatch and all that weight I've got on it from the bow mount and the batteries and live scope and yada, 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 it's just not really suited for those rough, choppy conditions that I sometimes find myself in. And so I've been in some situations where I've took on a lot of water. And so I've stuck with it, though, because there's really just not a good option out there. What it really boils down to is, and this is another one of those situations in life where we have quote unquote progressed so far that you can't go back. But it's unfortunate, but we've just got to that point with kayak fishing where the days of actually kayak fishing, like I'm doing out here today, just out here bare bones basic setup. I mean, literally for drift fishing, what we have here is just the stuff that we need. We've got 2 rods, 2 rod holders, and a basic graph to show us our depth and our speed. Like, that's bare bones minimum stuff you need when you're trolling or drifting like we're doing today. And unfortunately, hold on, we got a fish going down with this one here, but he's taking it down. That's a nice slow takedown. That's a nice slow takedown right there. Let's see what we've got here. This one's gonna pull a little bit too. Maybe we're getting down here to some better quality fish. We couldn't have got any worse quality from where we started, could we? Lord, it was small dinks there for a while. I don't think that this one here, I mean, he's certainly not gonna be no monster, but I think he's got potential to possibly be a fun size. Yeah. Actually, I think this one might be the biggest one yet. This one didn't fight as hard as that last fun sizer, but I think he might be a little bigger on the head bait. Okay, folks, all right. Well, hey, let's set you back up here in the front seat again a minute. Set you all up there while I land this thing. This one didn't, I could tell pulling up on him, it was gonna be like a fun size class fish. But he didn't fight nearly as hard as that other one. I mean, not nearly as hard. We had a nice slow takedown, but the fight after that wasn't as intense. Let's see what we can do here, fish. Come up here. Come up here now. All right, he's gonna give us that. We're gonna reuse that head bait because it's just been down there just a few minutes. It's still got the innards and everything. No, easy fish. Did you see that? He just jumped plumb out of the floor of the kayak and went overboard. I didn't even get to hold him up. I mean, I didn't particularly want a picture with him anyway, but he was at least front camera worthy. I was gonna have y'all do something with that fish there, take a picture for his Instagram. He didn't want me on his Instagram. Look at that meato in there, that like the innards and everything still hanging out. He just, I mean, I don't know if it got on camera or not, he just jumped plumb out. Tangled fish. Ungrateful. Here I am trying to make that fish famous. There's at least 30 people still watching this video. 30 may be optimistic, but still, there's somebody out there watching this video right now that had never seen that fish before, and that fish didn't care. He said, I'm getting the hell out of here. Oh, hell far. Did I just get hung? Okay. I dropped that damn thing down and got immediately hung. Okay. Boy, that'd have been something. You talk about getting frustrated fast. When you drop a bait down and the damn thing gets hung instantly, that'll set me off. But yeah, when it comes to kayaks, man, like the days of fishing like I'm doing now, it's kind of over. I still do it, and I do it for fun, but like you can't be, it's hard to be competitive. If you wanted to be on the tournament scene and you went out in a kayak like this, sure, you can do it. You can fish, maybe you cash. But to do it consistently over the entire tournament trail, when you're going up against guys in these huge ass kayaks that you know, got 24 volt motors and 105 pound thrust, They're running 10, 12 rods off a kayak, running planer boards and all that crap. Like, it's hard to be in a more traditional kayak setup and be competitive in that world. So I want one of each. One for my fun fishing. Days like today, we're just out here having a good time and fishing fairly close to the launch site I'm using. Oh, got hit again. Oh, both of them got nipped at the same time. Neither one of them hooked up. So anyway, I want one of each. But I hate that it's, and look, I'm as much to blame as anybody for this, right? Like, through the years here, just on my YouTube channel alone, like, I've tried various motors. I mean, I started simple and went as complex as I could get, and then before kind of the pendulum swinging back with me to preferring a simple setup again, just from a fun perspective. So, like, I'm as guilty as anybody as far as pushing this movement toward the motors and all the accessories, turning kayaks into basically miniature boats. Like, I'm as guilty as anybody for the sport of kayak fishing going to where it's at now at this point. But even though I'm guilty for having a hand in where it's gone, it don't mean that I particularly like to see where it's gone, if that makes sense. Like, I wish there were more people that was getting into the sport that, like, genuinely liked kayak fishing. The people getting into it now, most of the new people coming in, and I know I'm stereotyping here a little bit, I'm generalizing, but most of the people getting into kayak fishing nowadays, they're getting into it for just they're wanting a small boat, basically. They're just getting into it because it's a cheaper option than getting a boat. They're not getting into it because they just enjoy kayak fishing. And, that's unfortunate. And on one hand, those people coming into the sport, since they're making up the bulk of the sales for these kayak companies, like, those kayak companies are trying to make more and more kayaks that suit those needs, fill that niche that these people are wanting. So I guess it's good from that aspect that we're getting more of more options and stuff, more models that are heavier weight capacities and able to handle the motors and whatnot. But at the same time too, it's like we've gotten so far away from what we are. It's part of me thinks it's kind of sad, because again, I genuinely enjoy doing this. Like, for me, I had a boat before I got into kayak fishing. Like, I know a lot of people, they start out bank fishing and they get a kayak because it's cheaper, and then they work their way up to a boat. A kayak is a stepping stone into a boat for a lot of people, but it's not for me. Like, I had a boat first, then fell in love with kayak fishing, and so, like, you take my YouTube channel here, like, it's pretty much the same. What you saw me doing 7, 8 years ago when I started is, hell, I think the very first video I ever posted was just a clip. It wasn't even really like a video. It was just, I had a camera with me. I'd gotten a camera there. I've told this story before. Like, I'd gotten a camera as a birthday present. And so I was just filming stuff, and I was out of storage space. Didn't have a working computer, and so I'm like, I'll just put it on YouTube. It's free storage. That's how my YouTube channel got started. But that first video, I was in my native ultimate kayak, paddle kayak, drifting. Pretty sure I was drifting in the first one. Pretty sure my first one there was a flathead video. But I was literally doing the exact same thing that I'm doing here today. Suspend drifting in a kayak, having a blast. And what I loved doing back then is exactly what I love doing now. Like nothing's changed just because my channel's grown. I've, got a little notoriety for this. It don't mean like I want to change anything. Like this is what I enjoy doing. I was doing it back then because I enjoyed it. I'm doing it now because I enjoyed it. Like I don't have any desire to get a boat and there's some types of fishing, like when I'm ultralight fishing, for instance. Is that any more fun because I'm in a kayak versus a boat? No, I'd have fun either way, ultralight fishing. The fun in that is catching fish on the ultralight. Same thing with carp. Like carp, I can catch them from the bank, kayak, a boat. The fun is in fighting the carp, fighting the fish. With this though, with kayak catfishing, sure, catching catfish is fun. It's fun from the bank and it's fun from a boat. But the real fun is catching them in the kayak. When I've got my kayak, my rod set like they are now, kind of perpendicular away from the kayak, when one takes that rod over, you get that lever action, like pulling the side of the kayak down. Like it's just fun. You get a big fish towing you around, spinning the kayak, like it's fun. I enjoy that. And I think more people would enjoy that too, but now everybody gets into the sport. They're just looking to get the biggest kayak possible and turn it into a little boat. And unfortunately, you get that feeling to an extent, but it's not the same as being in a more compact, in a more something. And the traditional kayak purist would scoff at everything I'm saying here. Like, you've got pedals, your kayak's, I think this is what, 34 inches wide, 36 inches wide. Like, they would scoff at it because a traditional kayak is much more narrow and would be paddled versus pedaled like we're doing today. So, again, it's all on who you're talking to as far as the culture goes. But my point is, catching fish in a platform this size, you're going to get pulled around a lot more and you're going to have a lot more fun. The takedowns are going to be a lot more intense in a kayak like this versus a kayak like my other one there, my Hobie Pro Angler, or some of these other kayaks that are even bigger. Like, it's just different. It's different. And it's not bad. It's all personal preference, what a person prefers, but it's just different. And the people getting into the sport now, when I started, you didn't have kayaks like that. Like, there wasn't, back when I started, I know I sound like old man yelling at the clouds here, but back then it was like you had kayaks and you had to modify everything. A fishing kayak was just a kayak with molded in rod holders. Like, you didn't have these dedicated fishing kayaks like we have now. And so in a way, I'm kind of glad, because if I was getting started today, truth be told, I would probably get one of those larger kayaks, with all the bells and whistles. Like, that would probably be how I started if I started today. Because that's what people would tell me to do, right? Like, when you were doing your research, like, that's what people would be using more and telling you need to get and all that. So I'm thankful I come up in the sport when I did, so that I've got a more well-rounded experience and can, having had both, be able to make a decision for what's best for me. And honestly, if it wasn't for the tournaments and this YouTube crap, I wouldn't even have my other kayak at all. Like, I would just fish. If I was just fishing for fun, exclusively, no competitions, not having situations like for YouTube where maybe I got to make a long run to go fish somewhere, get video in a variety of places. Like, if I was just fishing exclusively for me, just for fun, I wouldn't even have the other one. I would just have this one. So, anyway, that's a long-winded rant. I've been pretty long-winded today. I'm surprised my voice has held up the way my throat has felt with my summer cold or whatever. Where are we at on time here? About time to wrap this crap up is what it is. It's hot. It's miserable hot, man. I don't even know what time it is. It can't be late in the morning, but my God, it's hot. It's like a damn sauna out here. It's just so humid this time of year. It's just hot and humid, man. But I like doing what I'm doing today. Get out first thing in the morning, first light, see an awesome sunrise. Although we had that fish distracting us during the sunrise this morning. But just have your fun early. And we've hardly seen any boats. What, a couple bass fishermen, airboat man. But beyond that, like, we've had the place to ourselves. And catch our fish and go home. And this afternoon, when the pleasure boaters come out, and about 6 o'clock, I guarantee you, there'll be 2 or 3 bass tournaments out here about 6 o'clock tonight. Every ramp will have a different bass tournament. They can have it, man. They can have it. And me and you, we'll have our fishing done. We'll done be at the house. We'll have our whole evening. I can clean up Daphne's pee all day long. I swear, if I get home today and that dog has tore up something at the house or peed or pooped in the floor again, I just need her to be good for give me 2 days consecutive of her being good. It would be so amazing. She's just going through a phase right now. She's just being in a mood lately. I don't know what's caused it, but it is. It's just, I thought we were through the puppy stage. Apparently we ain't. I guess it's kind of like, maybe, what do they say, dog years, 7 years for every 1 human year. So technically, I guess, if Daphne's 2.5, she's a teenager right now. So I imagine some of y'all out there that are parents to teenagers are you probably need a day or 2 break from your kids too at some point. When they misbehave and do teenager stuff. I don't know about y'all, I'm about ready to get out of here. We've caught several, I don't know how many fish we got today. Not as many as I would have liked. We got a couple fun size. Wasn't a good day quality-wise, but unfortunately, man, this is kind of, you get days like this during the spawn, where you catch fish, but maybe you don't get big fish or good quality. You can get out and grind and avoid a skunk, though. I mean, and I guarantee you, if we were fishing, today, I'm gonna fish. We're gonna wrap this up in a minute. So it's gonna be about a 4-hour session today. But I mean, if we fished 8 hours today and we just kept going, just kept making our way down this ledge and covered, moving a half mile an hour, 4 hours, what we cover? 2 miles. We might have hit 2 miles today from where we started. If we did another 4 hours, maybe we'd do a couple more miles. You work down these ledges that far, you're gonna run into some fish. It's just inevitable. You're not gonna get skunked. Not this time of year. Not with water temps this high. The metabolism's going. You just got to get a bait in front of their face. But just because you're catching fish don't necessarily mean the quality's going to be there. But you will catch them. You're not going to. It's hard to get skunked doing this. Well, that's my point. I guess I'm trying to make in a roundabout, too long a winded way. Is what we've done today, even with having just a basic setup and 2 rods, it's a way to go out and pretty much ensure that you're not going to get skunked. So At least out here where I'm at anyway, Tennessee River. And if you're somewhere else, maybe don't have as many catfish as we've got here, or if you're in a place that's maybe, you know, you might have to fish a different depth doing this possibly. If you're somewhere that's got a thermocline this time of year. But my point is that this basic, simple setup here can put you a lot of fish in your kayak or boat, whatever you have, just by doing the technique that we've done here today. And it's a lot of fun too when you get a good fish. That first fun sizer we got, like, that was a good time. Like, I really thought that fish was bigger than he turned out to be. So it's fun doing this. I enjoy this. I enjoy it more when it ain't blazing hot though, y'all. I think for real, I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to reel up. We're almost down here to this creek that comes in, and I think probably what I'll do is go ahead and call it quits now, and then maybe, I think my next trip out is going to be a carp trip, because Daniel from Catfish Sumo is going to fish with me. Unless something comes up, him and I are supposed to fish together, so we're going to do some carp fishing. But what I may do, crap, I got hung over here. There it comes. What I may do is next catfishing session possibly, if it's another day like today where I don't want to drive a long distance and have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning or something, we may come back out here and pick up where we've left off today and keep making our way down river. Or we may, of course, no better than we've done through here, we may just pick a different section of river next trip out too. Either way, bottom line of it is, folks, I'm hot. I'm hot, the sun's beating down, and I think I'm about ready to go to the house. I thought we might get us another one here before we go. We may close out with a fish here, or not. Well, he ain't gonna show us himself in person. I'll show you what he looks like on the screen right there. Just a little one there that had come up. But yeah, y'all, I'm hot. I think I'm gonna go to the house, chill out, eat my vegetable platter from stuff in my garden with enough ranch dressing that I'll make sure it's not a healthy meal that I'm eating. And yeah, hang out with the air condition, and fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed I get home and Daphne ain't destroyed the house. That dog, y'all, she's something else. But anyway, again, next trip will probably be a carp trip, assuming me and Daniel got to fish together. Hopefully get him a new PB carp. And yeah, anyway, I'll see you then.